to the second session of the Food and Climate Shaper Digital Bootcamp Climate Supper. Very long title, I know, but what you need to know that we are currently running the third edition of our bootcamp, what we organized together with the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. And every bootcamp on the third Saturday hosts a global virtual dining experience where we are literally dialing in throughout the globe into different dining tables and joining conversations, conscious conversations related to our food system. So this morning at 12 o'clock CET, Central European Time, we already traveled through Japan, Indonesia, India, Nigeria. We actually visited Italy shortly and then Germany as well. And now we have the second session where we are going through Europe and then moving towards the West and going to South America and the US as well. So very exciting. I hope you are too. You can see many, many faces on the screen and they are all, well, almost all of them are dialing in from Bologna, but definitely all of them are dialing in from Italy. And they will introduce you to the dishes, what they have prepared. Before we start that, I would like to encourage everyone to post questions in the chat if they want to. We will make sure that we accommodate them. And now, without any further ado, I would like to ask the first 5 students of the Malpighi School in Bologna to stay on screen with me and explain the dish what they prepared for tonight. Their challenge was Mediterranean diet and use the principles of the double pyramid. All right, so I think I will have Yulen, Sofia, Camilla, Michelle, Anne, and Julia with me on screen. Everyone else, please, if you don't mind, please switch off your cameras. Thank you so much. And did you decide who will take the lead and explain? Okay, I am excited. Yeah, on a live broadcast, it's fun when we have the awkward silence. So,
all right, I will start. So,
thank you.
Sorry. All right, so hi everyone. As Julia said, we were working on the double pyramid, the Mediterranean pyramid. So, a style of food that is at its base, it's vegan, so full of vegetables, and it's really healthy. So we're going to show you what we prepared together with the Food Alchemist Lab that helped us. And we prepared this, which is kind of like a vegan hamburger. So we start from the typical Italian bread, which is a tigella. And it's made out of whole flour because at the base of the Mediterranean diet, there's whole flours. Then we have a kimchi sauce, which is created with the lactose fermentation. Then we have kind of a tartare of vegetables, so a vegan one, which is what we made with fresh onions from here, tomatoes, local tomatoes, and mint. And we topped with some basil oil. And the burger that we see inside there is actually a tempeh made with quinoa. So it's this whole fermentation, this whole burger is based on fermentation. And then there's one last thing that we added inside, which would be a caramelized onion cream. So this is kind of like our burger. I don't know if you can see it really well. Maybe this shows it better. And it's really healthy.
I'm impressed. So is this the first time when you guys made tempeh?
Yeah, well, we didn't actually make it. Like they explained to us how to make it, but since it takes such a long time and it also needs some specific ingredients that are quite hard to find, they made it for us and we just prepared it, which is anyways a pretty difficult preparation because the taste and the texture are very particular. So it was hard for us and really interesting actually to understand how it can totally change its flavor just combining it with different ingredients. We also added a side dish, which we thought about, and I think Julia is gonna tell you about it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Julia. So this is the plate that Camila before explained them, and I didn't have the tigella, so I like change it with some bread, and yes, we we bake some chips. We we use the I don't know how to
The skin of
buccia.
the potato.
The potato, yes, but
The skin.
the skin of the potato, and we fried it, and this is the result. And after, we didn't want to throw the potato, so we also fried the inside of the potato.
Very good. Very good. You utilize the potato to the fullest. So how is, if you compare the skin and the actual potato chips, what do you, is there a big difference? Do you like most of them?
Oh, yeah, I think that I really like the skin of the potato more than the actual potato.
It's crispier, right?
Yes, it's really crispy, and it really tastes good. I put some salt in it, and it's amazing, really.
I'm very happy to hear. So, as Camilla also said, you guys met the Food Alchemist team, who is in our living lab in Bologna, and they were giving you some inspirations and also the tempe, because it would have taken a bit too much time to prepare for today. Yulen, Michelle, and Sofia, tell me, what was your main takeaway from those sessions? What did you like the most?
So for me personally, I mean, when I actually saw the tempe itself, it doesn't look too good. It doesn't really look appetizing because it's basically like, it's mold. It looks like mold. But so actually cooking it and trying to get it to taste a different way, it was really eye-opening to see how you can take an ingredient and actually make it taste like something else, like completely different. So yeah, that was for me personally the main takeaway of the whole experience.
Thank you that the look didn't stop you from trying it. It's already a great step.
So me, as Yulen, I agree with him. So it didn't have the best look at first, and it didn't taste actually really amazing. It had this like special and like weird in a good way, because I never tried something like this. It had this like weird taste in your mouth, which was really delicate, because some can like it and some cannot like it, you know. But when we actually cooked it, we all liked it so much. So, and the one who helped us do it, and he was really happy too, because in the start he saw us all like skeptic and all that stuff, but then after so we all liked it. And here's my mom that just eat the dish. She was
how did they like it?
It's wonderful. It's amazing. Never cook for me, never. And this time for me is perfect. So if she wants cook very, cosa ridi? I speak English very bad.
No, but don't worry. Thank you so much for joining us.
But wonderful. I
So
love.
Sofia, I think you did a great step today. You even involved your family and gave them alternative proteins. So good job.
Thank you so much.
It's perfect. So every night she can cook for me.
Amazing. Yes, that was
Bye-bye.
one of the, no, not really, but that was one of the goals as well. All right. Michelle, how did you like it?
I agree with Yulen and Sophia, because I liked it when it was cooked, and I think it was really good. I never tried something like this, so yes, I liked it a lot.
Amazing. So, well, team, I think you did a great job. I really like the dish. It looks amazing. Apparently, it tastes amazing. So yeah, enjoy the rest. I don't want it to get so completely cold. And now I would like to ask the next team on stage. And I think I will then take the one where we hopefully have everyone. Fabio, Sofia, Maria, or Letizia, Ilaria, and Angelica. Are you all here?
Ilaria is missing.
Ilaria is missing. Have you heard from her by any chance?
Yes, I think she won't come.
I understand. All right. But that shouldn't stop us. What was your challenge?
My webcam is blocked, but it doesn't matter because my lasagna is not ready. So I can
Fabio,
describe it.
I think it's because I stopped it when the others were online. If you request to switch on your camera, we can allow you to do that.
I'm clicking on it, but it says that, okay, now. Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
Perfect.
So,
So I think your challenge was local and seasonal, right?
yes, I can show it. It's still in the oven right there.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Your stuff.
That's a huge portion. I hope you have a lot of people to feed tonight.
Yeah. We have enough people. So what we were doing, I also sent some pictures on the chat. So we
Yes.
were there and had lots of different ingredients from spinach, cauliflower, pumpkin cream that they made for us before.
Mm.
We had Parmigiano Reggiano, we had lots of cheeses, and we had to use our creativity to mix them and make something new. So we had only vegetarian ingredients. So we did new dishes. All of us did different, we mixed differently all the ingredients. And I did one layer with, I mixed the pumpkin cream with the nuts, with the crushed nuts. Then I also used kimchi, their lactose fermented. Yes, it's very good. Then I also added another layer with the bechamel sauce. And I did other layers with different cheeses. I mixed also Parmigiano Reggiano with Stracchino.
Oh, yeah, of course I know. Oh.
Yeah. So
Well, those who don't, it's a soft cheese from Italy. Yes.
It's a very good cheese from Italy. And then I did another layer with, I mixed the bechamel sauce with some of the leftovers of the pumpkin sauce. I used the spinach, and I put some, squacquerone.
No, that I don't.
It's
Now I'm
another,
very
it's
disappointed.
similar to stracchino. And I also mixed that in, and I did other layers of that too. So I'm not sure of if it's gonna turn out good, but at least I tried to make something different and new.
I like the experimental way here. So maybe you can report afterwards which flavor combination was the best. Okay.
I will definitely send pictures and
Amazing.
little info on the experience.
Very good. So who is next? Letizia, how is your lasagna going?
I have not my lasagna here because me and my family ate it for lunch. They want to try so hard, so I let him eat. But it was so good. I cook it with pumpkin cream, besciamella, and Parmigiano Reggiano, and some nuts. I found really funny and interesting cooking a typical dish that we usually cook with. I usually make with my grandparents with ragu in a different way, and it was really interesting and new. I never tried a vegetarian lasagna. So yeah, I really enjoyed it.
And your family, did they like it?
Yeah, they did like it. My dad prefers the one with the meat.
So next step, next time you prepare it from one of the plant-based meat, you don't tell him.
No, you'll never know. No.
Okay, so the next experiment can be that.
Yeah.
All right. So Angelica.
Yes, me as Letizia never tried a vegetarian lasagna because my dad used to make lasagna with ragu, with meat. And I have here my lasagna.
That's good. So what did you pick as ingredients?
It is very similar to Fabio's lasagna with bechamel, a layer of bechamel, a layer of pumpkin cream, spinach, other vegetables, nuts, pear,
Okay, yeah.
pear, sorry, yes, this.
Okay, do you like it?
Yes.
Okay, I'm happy to hear that. All right. Hi, Anne. Would you mind switching off your camera until we finish with the others, and then I will let you know when it's your turn. Thank you. All right. So we have still Sofia from this team. How did your lasagna turn out?
I think pretty good. I'm not really used to cook, and I don't actually like it. But that time yesterday, I had a really great time with my friends, and especially during this tough time with the coronavirus, a bit of like light in this dark tunnel was good, and I had a lot of fun, and I had never done lasagna before yesterday, so yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Amazing. Do you think that you will cook more from now on?
Maybe like I prefer cooking like cakes or desserts.
Oh, baking. Okay,
rather
that's
than-
also fine. We can also receive
Yeah.
pictures of that or eventually eat your cakes when we are in Bologna. So I will keep that in mind. All right, thank you guys. You did a very great job. The lasagna looks great. So let's jump to the next team, namely Benedetta, Alessandro, Anna Chiara, Eleonora, and Lucrezia. Your challenge was food waste recovery. So may I ask what the final dish was?
Our dish was pretty good. We had a very nice experience yesterday with the food alchemist because we cook bananas, peel and pulp, and we did tacos with the sauce, and was so good. Actually, I cook for my family that is here.
It was very good.
But we finished the plate, but I have some pictures, so I can show you. And I think was a very interesting experience for us. And also Anna Chiara wasn't with us yesterday, but we thought about a menu for no waste. So Anna Chiara, if you want to tell something.
Yeah, so our menu was a zero waste menu. So we tried to figure out an ingredient that was zero waste. And in fact, we used the bread crumble. For example, here I have some Italian bruschettas and made with the homemade bread. Then I used tomatoes and, as I said, bread crumble. So everyone in the team has this ingredient in their plates. So now, if Alessandro wants to introduce our...
Yes, Alessandro, yes, hi.
Thank you. Hi. So yeah, yesterday we did the recycling part of the food program, and so we got we made like a ragu. So with this ragu, instead of meat, we put some banana peels, so that it would represent the same role as meat would in the ragu. And at the same time, we did like a fagioli sauce. And with that, we added like these banana chips that we made by getting the banana we got from the peels and mashing it with some mice, pre-cooked mice, so that it made this like paste. And we put it in the oven, making nachos. And unfortunately, my parents ate all the nachos. But like I managed to get some of the ragu, and I made myself like a pasta, vegetarian pasta ragu. And like right now, I'm with my classmates here that they can't.
You couldn't connect.
Yeah, they can't like connect, and they did the same dish as me, but like they still have the nachos and everything. I don't.
Oh, well, I'm very sorry that they couldn't connect. I don't know what could go wrong, but I'm happy that you can at least spend the meal together and still be through the screen together. Very good
Yep.
job. I think I actually tried the same recipe once with Jose and the team on the very first digital bootcamp. We also cooked that. My sister was very skeptical. She was visiting, but then afterwards, she even wanted to trick our parents when she went home to do that for them. So very great. Thank you so much. And I would go on because we have to be mindful of the time. Enjoy the rest of your dish. We have another young talent with us on the call, and he's called Potito. Potito, do you want to join me on screen? Potito. Oh, wait a second. Maybe here. There we go. Hi. Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
So tell me, what was the challenge, what you took for yourself for this climate supper?
Yeah.
What did you cook?
Okay. I have prepared some dishes with local products. In these dishes, excuse me, in this dish there are broad beans and chicory. The shelled fava beans are cooked to a cream and then combined with wild bitter herbs that my grandfather picked on his walk.
Wow, that's amazing. So tell us, where are you? Where exactly in Italy are you?
Can you repeat, please?
Of course, of course. So where do you live?
In Stornarella.
Is that south of Italy, or which area is that?
In South Italy, Puglia.
Nice. So your grandfather is like going out and just picking food, and this is such a diverse environment where you can have food from all over.
Yeah, and for the next dish.
Oh, you have multiple dishes. Very good. Yes.
I prepared ciccicotti.
What is that?
Because I like legumes very much, and also because in my country, with these some ingredients, of course, without radishes or some dry tomatoes, they prepare a dessert called ciccicotti, and I make ciccicotti with radishes, some dried tomatoes, and okay, chickpeas, lemon peel, and wheat. Then I made the salad.
It looks amazing. Wow. Your plating skills are very good. I mean, both of the dishes look pretty nice on the plate. So how did you enjoy the cooking process? Was it fun?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, Potito, thank you so much for sharing this. If you can write down the recipe and share it with the others on the chat, it would be great. So they can also make this beautiful salad if they want to later. Thank you for joining us today. And before we leave Italy, we also have some special guests online. Sonia, how is the potato coming from the oven? Do you want to tell us what you cooked? Ciao, ciao, Potito.
Ciao.
Sonia?
Camera. Yes, we're here with
The camera, right? 1 second, I help you.
Ancora?
Has to start the video. Yes.
Start. Metti quello lì blu. Zoe is managing this, so let me just, because my hands are very dirty now, so to manage the computer. Can you see us? No?
Not at the moment, it's still black, but yes, now I can see.
Can you see?
So what are you preparing?
All right, so I actually I was asking Zoe, she's my daughter, to describe the recipe, but she doesn't speak English, unfortunately. But she can show you.
Can explain in Italian and you translate. That's also fine.
Lo dici tu in italiano e io ti traduco. Ha chiesto lei. Cosa abbiamo preparato? Vai. Non lo so. Sì, cosa abbiamo preparato? Cosa abbiamo messo in forno? Sei troppo timida? So we have in the oven potatoes and artichokes. We found good artichokes. We are in Rome, here in Italy, but currently we are in the countryside. So we were able to go to a shop where they sell only local products, and they gave us artichokes. We hope they are local, but that's what they told us. We cleaned and we put some lemon on, and now they are in the oven. We are preparing, I'm actually from Emilia Romagna, so I'm preparing the piadina. And we will put inside the stracchino as well, the one that was used before by other people. And we have some herbs, again, local herbs, that we will actually cook in the oven and in the pot. Now, I'm sorry, I cannot bring you there, but we have some herbs, thymus with rosemary, and we put all the herbs we found in the garden actually together, and we created what we would like to put inside of our piadina. It would be more for the people who are from Emilia Romagna, crescione more than a piadina, so something with food in. So now we're going to give a little bit of rest to our dough for 30 minutes, and then we will start to cook it. We also find that the way how to prepare it, because we didn't get all the instruments here, so but we will be able to do it. So anyway, this is what, I'm sorry, we cannot, maybe we can show you something. I leave Zoe here. All right.
Wow.
No, there's no.
We cannot see too much. Okay.
They're red color. These herbs are red color, and
yes,
they look very tasty. And we put in all the herbs we found in the garden, and now we will see how they tasted.
Yes.
Thank
you so much. Good luck with the rest. I hope you will have food very soon, and you don't need to starve. Yes. Thank you for joining us today. And now I officially move to the Netherlands. We made Anne and their table wait a tiny bit. Excuse us, please, but there are so many delicious dishes we needed to listen. Hi, how are you?
Hi, we're doing really great, actually.
Amazing. So I see a beautiful table set up there. Also some nice wine. Hello, everyone. Hi.
Hello.
So Anne, what did you prepare?
Now, well, I wanted to think about this dinner more conceptually before. So I spent a lot of time on thinking what I wanted this climate supper to be. So I also designed, of course, a menu.
Oh my God.
Which is saying climate supper reinventing Dutch food culture. So since Dutch people always tell each other that we don't have a food culture, like we don't have dishes, we don't have, we're very negative about our own food traditions. I wanted to celebrate our culture in a different way by reinventing a tradition. So I wanted to declare the March 27th to the climate supper officially, and celebrating scarcity in the creative human mind, because we're leaving winter time, we're entering spring, and it's not spring. Yeah, spring.
Yes.
So we have to be way more creative with the ingredients that the market has to offer. So it's not in spring, it's so easy because everything looks beautiful and delicious, and now it's more hard because it's a lot of beans, cabbages. It's not very sexy anymore. So we try to make a dinner that is about tradition and about new gestures. So we have no cutlery here. We have, we made together with the chef, who's also
Hi, chef.
we made small cabbage kind of tacos wraps, and that we're gonna fill with all the stuff, the really beautiful Dutch ingredients that we have. I'm gonna do a little bit like this. So Jasper, maybe you want to explain?
Yeah, so it's everything that we have on the table is in season now. So we have a maitake mushroom. See, we have a rutabaga or sweet, which is a kind of a turnip. We have some local beans. We have some pickled Swiss chard. Of course, the cabbage. Pickled Dutch herring. Parsley and salsify. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe here's the salsify.
Thank you.
So we have to share and mix and match everything and make a small cabbage tacos.
All from Dutch ingredients. Yeah.
This sounds amazing. And you just proved that even in winter, there are products what you can cook from.
Yes, and look at this amazing, like this is a big mushroom, really big mushroom that we put in the oven with a glaze, like a bit of sugary glaze. So it becomes really like this thing that you can cut like meat, you know, like this super mushroomy flavor. And in Italy, we used to eat it like this raw fish starter. And now we do it with herring, which is a bit unusual, I think, because you always eat it as a very, very easy sandwich. But we haven't started yet, so we're all, I think, very...
You were waiting for us.
No, because we were just... but my guest, maybe that's nice to know, is my brother. He's a political scientist.
Hi.
And this is a landscape architect. And this is a chef and a designer too. So before we started the dinner, we had a really long talk about Dutch tradition and Dutch food tradition and culture, and why we think that this tradition is so, or like the Dutch food culture is not so, we're not so proud of it in a way. So
you documented,
yeah,
but Anne, you have to share this with us. Please, please send photos in the chat. So what was the outcome? I'm very curious. I lived in the Netherlands for almost 2 years, and I didn't necessarily find the proudness of the Dutch food culture either. So what was the outcome of your conversation?
The outcome is that our tradition and our history is a lot about
pride and shame.
Pride and shame.
Two-sidedness to every feeling. So we felt that the shame that we feel about our colonial history, for example, also translates into diversity in food culture. For example, we have Indonesian food that's very well integrated into our Amsterdam cuisine. So, and we found that over the course of all these different things in history, our knowledge economy, our colonial history, but also the way we have a bit of a problem with the wealth dispersion across the entire society. All these problems also sit in our food culture. And we found that once we discussed the celebration of food in the Netherlands, there's still a lot of discomfort because of that two-sidedness. And so tonight we're trying to overcome that discomfort by sharing with our hands everything from the plates.
Yeah, and I think it's important that you share, so that we share the plates and not have all our separate dishes, which I think is super problematic. Like everyone has his own dish. Also in restaurants, it's more tension towards individualism in food. I think it's a big trend, and I think it's not a really good trend. So we're trying to use our hands, get into the ingredients that we are proud of, and we're now celebrating in a way. And we want to say that next year we're going to do this again on this actual date.
Amazing. So that's a tradition from now on. Very good. I like it. So I'm very curious to see the results, what you noted down from your conversation, but now I really would like to let you eat, because I could see a sneaky hand already picking some beans there. So go ahead and enjoy your dinner. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Julia,
Yes.
I just finished cooking it, so I have it here. I can show it to you
Oh,
right
Fabio, yes, quickly. Please, show.
now. Here. This is what it looks like now.
Als we maar op mute staan.
Ja, we staan op mute.
Very nice.
Try it right now. So, I can taste the different ingredients, but they're all kind of mixed in, so they form a good like harmony. Does
Oh,
it work?
okay. So you think they are complementing each other very well?
Yes, so I think I did a great job. I'm
very proud of you, really.
Thanks.
All right, so please share the recipe with is that the one with the kimchi and everything, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I am very curious about that recipe. I might try it myself.
I'm gonna go eat right now.
Yes, please do. And we would like to ask Mary to join us on the screen. Thank you, Fabio. Ciao, ciao. Mary, are you still there? We made you wait so long. Sorry about that. And then I can say that I have everyone besides me on the screen is based in Bologna. Greta, are you actually in Bologna right now?
Yes, we're in Bologna.
Good. So, hi. So, Mary, who is your guest?
Hi. So this is Riccardo. He's actually a classmate of mine. We studied together here in Bologna. And we study global ecology and the UN Sustainable Development Goals, so very relevant to tonight. And he's a fellow foodie and actually has an Instagram page regarding sustainable lifestyles, so I figured I'd put in my hand.
Brand new. I just
Wow, please post it in the chat so everyone can start following you. Is it in Italian or in English?
Yeah, unfortunately it's in Italian, but
not a problem. We can still follow you. There is Google Translate.
Yes.
Very good. So what did you prepare?
So we did zero planning ahead, and our idea was to go to the market this morning. So we went to the market this morning, and the idea was to get inspiration from what we saw around us. So everything we're eating today is from the market that we went to this morning. And so we made a salad. Do you want to talk about the salad?
I will present. If you want to talk about it, I will present.
Oh, so I'll talk it.
Yeah.
So we got some artichokes, which I'm not very familiar with, but we decided we were going to experiment with them. And we found the leaves of the poppy flower. We were looking around for like a salad, and we had never heard of them being eaten. Yeah. So we kind of tried to ask the guy what we could do with them and learn a little bit about this ingredient. And so we decided to make like a raw salad with some lemon and olive oil vinaigrette with raw artichokes, this herb from the poppy, and then some arugula. So it's very like spicy, fresh, and so that's our salad we made. And then I also made, I've been doing quarantine here in Bologna, and during this time I learned how to make pasta. So I've been really trying to perfect my skills.
She's amazing. She developed really, really nice skills in doing pasta, even better than us that we are Italian, and she's from Alaska. She's getting way, way better.
So I made actually like a beet pasta. So it's a pink dough. So we put beets in the pasta, and then inside is some squash, and then there's like a cream of goat cheese that we found at the market.
Wow, this sounds delicious.
Yeah, and the wine.
Oh yeah, we got
very important.
It's called Pignoletto, and
yes, some bubbles.
Very nice.
Yes. Very good. All right, so please go ahead, enjoy, because one of them is definitely warm and I don't want you to eat your pasta cold. And in the meanwhile, let's talk to Lauren and Greta as well. So Lauren actually is cooking a lot and posting it sometimes on her social media. Maybe you want to tell us what kind of skills you developed since you are in Italy.
Okay, well, I'm kind of ashamed to say that it's more not Italian things that I've been posting. Well, okay, besides crostata, I post that a lot, but I mostly bake, as you can see. I could actually use some cooking classes here, and I'm waiting for when COVID is over to be able to partake in some cooking classes. Would be really nice. Because I feel like I have not fully embraced that part since being here yet. Greta, you have to give me some recommendations.
Yeah, we're neighbors, so when this whole thing is over, you need to come over for dinner or lunch, and we can cook together.
Yes, I would love that.
Yeah.
And
you
this
can
whole
make
thing is
your
over, you can
pasta.
also meet Mary, and then the climate
Yes.
shapers can stay connected in Bologna.
Exactly.
So Greta and Lauren, they both joined the digital bootcamp last July, and then I had the chance to meet them in person in Polica in September. And Lauren since then is pursuing her other masters and also being part of the digital bootcamp team, what I'm very happy about. And Greta is working for FAO. Do you want to tell us a bit about especially that event, what you are also preparing for the summer?
Oh, yes, although it's no longer in the summer, but...
Okay, well, at least, sorry.
No, it's okay. There is actually a portion which will be in the summer, so not all is lost. But yes, as Julia was saying, I'm working for the forestry division at FAO. I am in the outreach and capacity building team. And aside from that, I'm also partaking in the team which is organizing World Food Forum, which is, let's say, a complementary event to the UN Food System Summit. The Food System Summit, of course, is going to be more of a high-level political event. And the aim of the World Food Forum is instead to also engage all of the other stakeholders, which might not necessarily be involved in the Food System Summit. So right now we're in the making of these various events. There is going to be a series of hackathons, a concert, which I guess is going to be, unfortunately, a virtual one, some cooking classes. So stay tuned for that. And actually, we just launched the website and the social media accounts for the forum. So feel free to follow us on social media, and we'll keep you posted on the events and opportunities to engage with the forum.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And thank you for joining. I think we can now switch to Germany and start with Nicole. I think it's time, if I am checking my schedule properly. Hi, Nicole. How are you?
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
You see me okay?
Wow, your setup and the camera and the picture is amazing.
Your camera is incredible.
Yes.
Thanks. That has nothing to do with me. It's my husband. He's a videographer, so he has fun doing these kinds of setups.
Well, maybe we can have a training with him. I would love to have these kind of setups for the digital bootcamp, upgrade the experience.
For sure, for sure. Do you see Danielle and Mary coming in too?
Right now, Danielle is already here, so if she can, maybe she can turn on. Hi. Hi. Nice to meet you. Thanks for joining. And no, Mary and Sammy, I don't. Oh, Sammy, yeah, that's Sammy.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
it's like
I'm with Danielle. Danielle's my friend. Hi.
Oh, okay, nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you. Hi, Julia.
Hi. So Sammy was also participating on the bootcamp in the winter time, and she also had an amazing climate supper prepared, I remember, with some wine from the local stores and everything. So
I was exhausted because I cooked all day. But it was great.
So I would say let's start and talk about the topic what Nicole picked for today. And also I would like to make everyone very jealous. I already posted about that today, that I got some delivery from Nicole before, because she made this delicious brownie. And because I am lucky to be in Berlin, she also delivered me 2 pieces. One I already consumed and it was very good. So it gave me the energy for the second session. So while we wait for your other guests, we will keep an eye on the baking room. Maybe you can tell us what you discussed with your participants.
Yeah, well, we just got together just now. So we just did brief introductions and haven't actually gotten into the topic yet. But and I see Mary's joining us now as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. I did want to give Sammy and Mary and Danielle a quick opportunity to introduce themselves so that you understand maybe why, well, I guess I should say I picked food and feminism because they're 2 issues that really only recently I kind of put together in my master's program at Humboldt. I took a course called Ecofeminism and Feminist Political Ecology, and that really opened my mind to the interconnections of oppression. And I saw how gender could be a lens to look at those, and the oppression of women and the exploitation of women and the environment are interlinked, and they come from the same ideology of hierarchy. And and so I wanted to get out of the books only, because I've been kind of consumed by that academically for the past year. And I wanted to see who in my community here in Berlin is doing something in the realm of environmental justice and gender justice. And I thought of Mary first, Mary Sherpa first, because I've been following the Feminist Food Club for, I don't know, a few years now. But Julia Dalmati just introduced me to Sammy the other day. And so maybe we should start with Sammy's introduction first really quickly, and then move on to Mary to introduce herself.
Amazing.
Sure. So my name is Sammy. My academic background is in environmental policy, and I worked in a little bit in sustainable agriculture and food system research for the last few years. And like Julia said earlier, I joined the Food and Climate Boot Camp in November, and it was really great. Inspired me to think, more circularly in an ecosystem way, which is really great addition to the type of work I was already doing. I'm also part of an environmental justice collective, a majority Black environmental justice collective here in Berlin. It's called Black Earth. So in the food and ag work that I do, I obviously always try to bring a justice perspective and an intersectional one. So I was really happy to get the invite from Nicole to kind of bring all things together and to kind of dissect what a future food feminist world would look like. And I happened to be seeing my friend Danielle, who is perfect for this topic as well, for dinner. And so I was like, you should join me for the climate supper. And so I'd love for Danielle to also introduce yourself since you're here.
Briefly, the last one I did a longer introduction. Essentially, I work in global female and menstrual health advocacy. I started International Menstrual Hygiene Day, which is celebrated notoriously on the 28th of May every year, with a social impact organization here in Berlin called Wash United, and then started my own company called the Menstrual Health Hub in Madami, which specializes in gender and female health and menstrual health innovation. And we help businesses and the financial actors more meaningfully invest and do innovation in the menstrual health space. So we work across sectors because menstrual health is an intersectional issue as well. It's not just about the period, it's like constantly happening for 40 years. We
were just discussing how the importance of like food and seasonality and like this meal kind of diet that you may want to focus on in your menstrual times, and just kind of how our bodies are changing with the climate as well. So those are things that we'll be talking later with Nicole and Mary about, definitely.
Amazing. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm very happy to see Mary on screen. Mary, did you think that you will meet someone else who you also have met before? Because I am myself also part of the Feminist Club, maybe not as active as I wish to be for a while, but I had some other activities running, but I have attended some of the meetings before. Very nice to see you here today.
Shall I introduce myself?
Yes, please.
Okay, hi everyone, I'm Mary. I've been in Berlin I just tried to calculate it and I can't. I moved here in 2003, but I'm also German. I grew up just 2 hours south from Berlin. And 4 years ago, I started the Feminist Food Club, which is, we're working on providing spaces to exchange information and experience and knowledge for trans and cis women and non-binary folks who are in some ways or others affiliated with food and gastronomy. We keep this rather loosely. Also, our definition as club is very loose. You can just become a member by following our Instagram account. So we don't have very strict rules. But our goal is to have conversations that we think aren't had enough in the food world. And we do different topics. We meet once a month currently, or for over a year. We've been meeting digitally, and we have different topics that change from month to month, depending on what we're interested in. Currently, it might be very practical stuff like how to get, how to label your jars if you want to sell products. But we've also discussed white feminism, racism, cultural appropriation, and then all the way back again to mentoring and business advice. So we're all over the place, and but mostly we're focused on coming together in one space and exchange and get to know each other. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. So, Nicole, I assume you will take this conversation now on, and we would love to see the results and the takeaways what you will have. So maybe you can share it next week with the bootcamp participants as well. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope your guests can also enjoy the delicious brownie what you prepared. All right, thank you. Enjoy your conversations.
Thanks. See you girls back in our Zoom room.
Yes, thank you. Bye.
Bye.
And I think our next guest participant, Valeria, is already here. Hi, Valeria.
Yeah. Hi, good evening.
How are you?
Hi. Great, thank you. And you?
Very good.
Tired?
Not yet.
Okay. You look perfect.
Thank you.
Okay. So, well, I don't know if my guests want to show up. Anyway,
so tell me
okay,
yeah, there we go.
Here they are. Okay, thank you, guys. Well, tonight we've just ended a really great conversation. We just managed to know each other. Well, of course, like some of them were my friends, Ilaria, Alessio, and Alberto. Just get to know one person better that I decided to invite, who is Marco Rufino. And yeah, I decided to actually to connect with them and to have the dinner with them, since we have just we have different things in common. For sure, we have the passion for food. For food sustainability, the food system sustainability. We all have studied background in food sciences and sustainability. One of them, there is also, like with Alessio, another guy, he's a designer actually, but he got to write a thesis about food system, about food waste management in a shop, food shop. So he introduced to the food system as well, even if his background was different. And we have also another passion, which is sourdough, and in common. So this is why today I decided to connect with them. Basically all of us actually started to use sourdough to bake, mainly bread, but then also we have someone who is actually also really expert in something else, which is Marco. Maybe he wants to say something.
Yes, no, okay.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Yeah, okay.
Hello,
you
everyone.
can also show us what you have there.
Yeah.
So we started to talk about food. Yeah, please.
This is colomba, special sweet from Italy. I think it was born in Milan as the panettone. And I'm Marco, and I'm 22 years old. First of all, I study in Milan, food economics, but meanwhile, I try to do something different. That is, the first one is a project about food waste, but today we talk about the colomba, and that I do in a bakery in Turin, where I was born and I come from. And this is a special sweet with, here we are with chocolate, but the classic one is with oranges, and is with eggs, butter, a lot of butter, and of course, yes, some natural yeast, with natural yeast. And
yeah,
so that's what I do.
Super nice.
next weekend it's oh sorry, it's Easter, so I'm working a lot in this weekend and next week.
Yeah. Also, like we have, for example, like we all think that actually sourdough is really powerful as an ingredient, as actually as a life, because we really believe in the power of microorganisms, and we think they are really essential like in our life to make it like more tasteful and more like really healthy also. And so this is what we believe in, and all of us do. For example, there's also another guy, for Alessio, and he's actually also a baker, a home baker. And for example, what are you eating, Alessio, tonight with your friend Simone?
Hello everyone. I'm Alessio. I'm 23, and as Valeria, as Marco, as Ilaria, I do believe that sourdough is a powerful tool to unlock microbes and microorganisms, to make our gut healthier, to make in this universal metabolism also the world healthier, right? And but I sometimes think that sourdough is thought to be an elitistic thing. It's really hard to manage. It's really hard to get by the time schedule for bread making. So I decided to do something that anyone can do with sourdough. In fact, I didn't have any time today to arrange a dinner and cook for dinner. And this is the reason why I chose to refresh my sourdough this morning. And then tonight, as soon as I came home after work, I baked these pancakes, and they're super fluffy, super full of bacteria, and they're made with, of course, ground flour, whole wheat flour, and sourdough has also the power to let's say these enable the phytic acid that's inside the whole wheat flour, and therefore unlock iron and make iron more bioavailable for your gut and for your stomach and for your body. So this is a recipe that I highly suggest. It's super easy to make. The whole dinner with a salad and a cauliflower took me half an hour to do, and happy to share this with anyone who would be interested in that.
Please do.
It's more mainstream.
Yes. Well, it's actually a very great tip, because I think a lot of people don't know what to do with the discard of their sourdough when they keep refreshing it. Well, the pancake is one of the best examples to do. So thank you, Alessio, for sharing it.
It is. And also we have Alberto Montobbio, that actually he's also a baker too. And I don't know if he's listening us.
Alberto. Yes, I think for some reason his camera is not on. I can ask.
So I don't know, maybe he just, okay, maybe he just went
Alberto,
away.
don't be shy.
Just no. Well, he showed us actually in the other chat his bread, the bread that he baked today, and it was actually beautiful and amazing bread, and for sure also really tasteful. But actually we didn't taste it. He did. And yeah, we also like to try new type of flour to use, you know, also from ancient grains, and because also the flour is an essential actually when you bake bread, and not only actually. So and we have Ilaria, of course, Abba, the bootcamp alumni. I decided to also to invite with us, and she's also actually approaching to sourdough in the last month. She had just started. How was it, Ilaria?
Yeah, it was like 3 years in the University of Gastronomic Sciences where people bake, and yeah, I was like blind. And then 2 months ago, I decided maybe I can try to do it, but I wasn't successful.
But I mean,
did you start the sourdough from?
No. Alberto gave me a little bit, and so I tried directly, but it was hard.
But I mean, if there's something that I learned with sourdough and with bread making is actually that we have to you don't have to give up. I mean, it will be if you study and if you learn more, I'm sure that at some point you will get a decent work, a result. So yeah. So basically, yeah, we have also with us our sourdough that we just refreshed. Some of
Do
us
you have a name? Does your sourdough have a name?
I think it's Friday the 17th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm also eating an Easter, I don't know if you can see it, Easter dish from the south of Italy. And yeah, I wanted to try it tonight. So
do you mind just quickly explaining what that dish is? Because I saw the photo, it was a dough with eggs inside. I assume there is something else inside as well, right?
Yeah, basically it's a dough which inside, usually in Naples they put salami and cheese, but I wanted to keep it vegetarian, so I actually added spinach and some cheese. And then you put in the top some eggs that you cook just in the oven. You put it raw, and then they cook in the oven. And it's symbol, of course, of Easter at the eggs. So this is why we use it. And actually, it's not typical from where I come from. I come from the north, but I just wanted to try something from the south. I don't know why. I knew about this recipe, but actually I forgot to put the salt inside, so it was really tasty.
Very good. Thank you so much. I'm pretty sure it's delicious. Maybe you can share the recipe afterwards.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your gut health tips with us and all the sourdough tips and tricks. Before we go to Mexico, I also would like to welcome two other alumni on screen, and that's Ivani and Mauricio. Ciao. How are you doing?
Hello,
Hey,
guys. How are you?
So both
Sorry.
of them are dialing in from Brazil, actually. And I would like to ask them elevator pitch style for 1 minute each to say, what are you doing these days since we didn't see each other?
Ivani, please go. Go
Okay.
ahead.
So I'm here in Brazil, in the very south, the city of Porto Alegre, on top of Uruguay, just for you to have a geographic localization. And these days I'm working from home, but I'm really happy that recently I've joined Preta Terra's team, which is an agroforestry intelligence hub, and I'm working with them remotely for now, and just doing that. And I was really happy to listen to the conversation about the microbiome as well, and to make good food for a happy stomach and a happy microbiome as well, because this is actually what got me into be interested in food systems and everything. This was my entrance point, and now I'm super happy to be on a complementary side as well, which is to build healthy soils and carbon farming and all of this. So thank you for sharing the recipes. And I want the recipe for the pancake sourdough. Really got interested because it's easy to do.
Thank you for joining, Ivy. Mauricio.
Yeah, hi. I'm Mauricio. I'm also from Brazil. I joined the bootcamp last December. I am a small farmer. I have also an agro industry in my farm, and we are talking about microorganisms. We used to do as well. That's a kind of microorganism that we collected from the forest. We let rice in a bamboo bowl, for example, and let them for 10 days. And then we put that, we pulverize that in a soil to create the microorganism that we lost. So I have an agroforestry project also developed by Preta Terra, which is a consulting firm from Brazil. Yeah, and we are trying to build a health soil, health food, That's what we are doing here in Brazil. And the Future Food Institute is inspiration for me. And I'm super happy to have to join the conversation here. I'm learning every time that I'm joining the conversation with young people like you guys.
Thank you, Mauricio. Very happy to have you here tonight.
Thank you.
And now let's go to Mexico. Cami.
Hello.
Hi. How
Hi.
are you?
Good. Great. Yeah. It's been a busy day in the kitchen preparing all of the very fun stuff. And my guests have just recently arrived, most of them. There's a few more that we're waiting for. So the table is partially set. And the inspiration for this lunch is really sort of like endemic indigenous ingredients. I'm not from Mexico, but I have had the pleasure of living here on and off for the last 6 years, and specifically in the state of Oaxaca. And through the boot camp, I've really kind of like dialed in on some of the food products here, which are absolutely should be future foods. And this, I don't think, you can't really see it, but it's this sauce in a jar here. And it's called chintesle. It's the inspiration for this whole lunch. So what is chintesle? I'm talking to these guys too. So chintesle is a sauce made in the northern mountainous region of Oaxaca. And it's made with pumpkin seeds. So something that normally might not be used in other countries. In Mexico, there's pumpkin seeds used all over, and they're called pepitas. So they're much more common here, but I'm from the US, and that's something we might eat for when we carve our pumpkins for Halloween or something. So chintesle is the base of pumpkin seeds, a specific chili from the region, and avocado leaves from the tree. All of them are toasted together with some garlic, and then oil and vinegar is added. And then it's milled on a stone called a metate, and this sauce is created. And so this sauce you can spread on tortillas. It is a burst of flavor. It's the most delicious thing on the planet. So I really wanted to bring it, like a conversation around it, use it, talk about it. I'm obsessed with it. Anyone who knows me knows it's like, chintesle. But even further, there's a lot of flowers and insects eaten here. So I wanted to incorporate that into the meal. And while some of the stuff is still cooking, it's still under preparation. I do have some ingredients to show you. So these are flowers from a specific type of bean. They're large beans called frijolón. So these flowers are in our salad today. And then here I have chapulines, or grasshoppers. And I've toasted them with sunflower seeds and then salt and pepper. So just like really clean and crisp and yummy. And then I hope you guys are getting hungry. And then also, this is the namesake of Oaxaca. It comes from a tree called the guaque. And so these are guaques. And they're like vines with little beans in them. You peel them open and put them on your tortilla with guacamole, maybe with meat called tasajo. It's like a local steak. And they're really flavorful and delicious. So these are at our table today. And then also, still in the oven, we have some carrots. They're whole little baby carrots that came out of the ground this morning. And I took the tops and made a chimichurri out of the carrot top. So it's kind of hard to see, but it's pretty liquidy. So this is like a carrot top chimichurri. So it's a sauce that's gonna go on our carrots and beets. And then I use the chintesle on top of fish. And that hasn't gone into the oven yet because I'm waiting until everyone gets here. And what else? Oh, for dessert, we're having sweet potatoes, and those have gone in the oven, and they're going to be served with a local cheese and a cardamom honey drizzled on top. And I think I covered everything, but you get the idea. Oh yeah, and then there's this beautiful herb here called hoja santa, and it has this, it's, I think in the US anyway, we would call it sarsaparilla. And so I've taken the leaf, it's common here, and wrapped another local cheese in it, and it's in the oven, and so they're kind of like little dolmas, like local dolmas. So really just like bringing Oaxacan food to light, because all of it is literally future food. All of it is things that we, you know, it's circular, there's very little waste, and everything was local. And so I'm excited to share with my friends.
Wow, impressive, Cami. I heard so many new things in this few minutes now. Please make some photos, share the recipes with us. I assume not everything is available for everyone, but part of it, I mean, especially the first sauce what you showed, most of the ingredients are actually available, maybe not the same chili, but maybe we can experiment with the flavors and try it ourselves. And your table setup looks amazing. Is everything plated on banana leaves?
Yeah.
Very good, very good. So thank you so much. And your guests, so did they prepare with you, or is that all you?
No, my friend Megan, who's sitting here, she helped me shop yesterday. We went to the markets, and she helped me make a lot of fun decisions, and the banana leaves were her idea. And then all morning she's been helping me prepare also, and actually like setting up this table while I did the food stuff. So yes. And then Vanessa and Oscar have just come with their small puppy, and we're having a little dog party alongside the meal too.
Amazing. All right, enjoy. I hope you don't need to wait too long for the rest of the dinner table, so you can get that fish ready as well. Thanks for sharing, and enjoy your conversations and meals.
Thank you.
Bye. All right, and we already have someone from Italy with us, Caterina. Hi.
Hi, Julia. Hi, Lauren. Hi, Ali.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm just waiting for my family. They are actually my guests, but they are having a bit of problems with the Zoom stuff because my parents are not really tech savvy. So they're coming.
Just tell them that the password, most probably they need to enter the password. That was the challenge today multiple times.
Yes, I'm trying to tell them. They're coming. Just take some time.
That's okay. Don't worry.
So yeah, actually,
yes, sorry.
Yes, yes. I would like to introduce to you the dish that I prepared. It's actually a recipe that my mother taught me. Her. It's a typical recipe, and yeah, it looks like this. It's basically a soup made out of milk and bread, and it's linked to the theme of our supper, which is about, you know, simple recipes, like linked to the tradition, because now we are used to having a lot of options. You know, you go to the supermarket, you buy whatever you feel like buying without even thinking about how you're going to translate that into a dish. Well, this is a dish which was ideated in order not to waste anything, you know, about what family would produce or have in their kitchens. And yeah, it's basically made out of milk, which pretty much everybody had in my area, because every family had their own cows, and bread, like old bread. The purpose of this was to recycle, let's say, that, you know, maybe after a couple of days, instead of throwing it away, you basically put it in a pot with milk, with water, so it gets a little bit softer, and then you add a little bit of butter to add some flavor, and it's perfectly nutritious. In fact, it was used in order to, like, for the weaning of kids, like when they had to stop drinking the mother's milk and get used to eating normal stuff, because yeah, it's really nutritious. And in fact, like I was speaking with my family before, because we were connected, having cooking on another call, And we were all saying that, like, we were reflecting about the topic, one of the topic that was indicated in the cards that you provided, like our best memories related to food. And it was funny because we all found out that the best memories were the ones related to kids, like the simplest things, sharing the meal with. And we've always been a very big family. My mother had a lot of brothers and sisters, so often, you know, they had to, like, there wasn't that much food at home. They had to, like, deal with what they had. And so recipes were kind of simple, but those are the best memories. Like, I thought that they would say something, oh, I enjoyed going to the restaurant, eating a lot of fancy stuff. And instead it was always either simple dishes or even stuff that my grandparents used to grow in their garden. So it was really nice, actually. I'm sorry that my parents are not coming. I don't know why.
No, it's okay. You kind of represent them by telling your story.
Yes, I'm enjoying
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Also because we were in another couple minutes ago, so we had the discussion. I think because I know we were supposed. Oh, okay. Here they are.
Hi, ciao.
Ciao.
Yes, they do not speak any English, so I'm going to have to translate.
That's okay.
But yeah. So these are my parents, Luisa and Guglielmo. Ci sentite? They don't hear us, I think. Take some time. But yeah, I was saying that it was nice having this family dinner because sustainability is not really something we as a family reflected a lot about in the past. And I know we were maybe supposed to invite important people in the field of sustainability, but I thought
your
it was
parents
interesting.
are important people in the sustainability.
Yeah. Yeah, it was nice because actually, you know, I think it's important to reflect about these things, like discuss about these things, even with people that are not experts, because in the end, it all comes down to the personal experience, you know, having maybe a friend or a family member that tells you, do you actually know what you're eating, what you're putting in your plate? Have you ever thought about the way you eat? Because sometimes when you hear these speeches coming from, I don't know, television, documentaries and stuff, it comes in from one ear and goes out from the other. While having this serious family discussion or friends discussion about the topic is sometimes more inspiring. So yeah, and we all cooked together. It's actually something we weren't able to do for a while because I'm away from home, and now with the pandemic, I couldn't go. So it was really, really, and yeah, that's it.
Katerina, I think you made the right decision to involve your parents in your climate summit. Because that's one of the things that I always aim for, and that's involving everyone along the supply chain in the conversation, and that includes consumers as well. So you don't need to be an expert in the food system to have these conversations. So you did a great job. I am super amazed by this soup, and I will try because I love milk, I love butter, I like bread. So what is everything is good in that soup.
Yeah.
So where are your parents based?
They are in the north of Italy, in a small village in the Dolomites. It's close actually to the border between Italy and Austria. So yeah, it's a mountain area. Traditionally, like people living there were kind of poor, so the style of cooking is quite poor. And so yeah, this is a dish from our tradition. We often eat it, even now that there is no need to eat such simple stuff, but it's nice sometimes to be mindful and instead of throwing away stuff to think about creative ways to give them a second life. And we were actually also discussing about possible, you know, innovation for the dish, because there is the milk, the butter, they are kind of sweet. So it takes a bit amount of salt to make it taste nice. And I was discussing the other day with the Food Alchemist team about the issue of having too much salt, finding alternatives for salt. And they suggested to use miso, dehydrated miso, which they do in the lab. They explain how to do, so I like to try because it tastes like prosciutto, but it has much less sodium than normal salt, so it's healthier. So we were discussing with my parents, maybe we're going to try and replicate also that and integrate it into the recipe.
That sounds very good. So see, you are already ideating with your parents.
Yeah, I would like to see a Cucina Povera recipe book that you can share with us.
Yeah, we have
from your
plenty.
region. I would really enjoy to see that.
Yeah, just sharing about tradition. Here I am in the very south of Brazil, and my ancestors came from Germany. And even my mom fed me with milk soup when I was little. And it was a very traditional family dish as well. So good memories around that. Thank you for
Thank you for sharing.
Very nice.
Yeah,
So Katerina,
nice.
please enjoy your dinner. I hope that even at least virtually you will be sharing the meal with your parents, not only the cooking part now. And I would love to be able to say it in Italian, but grazie that you joined. I have no idea how to translate, so please do. Thank your parents for being here with us.
Vi ringraziano per essere venuti.
Thank you.
Thank you, Julia. Thank you. And enjoy the rest of the climate supper. It's really an amazing experience.
Thank you. See you soon.
Bye.
Yes. Goodbye. Bye-bye.
So now we are going back west and having multiple people joining us from the US, from different parts of the US. I think Lisa was here also shortly. Yes, she's still here, so hopefully she will come on screen. She is the current participant, but we have Abby and Emily here with us. Emily from New Jersey and Abby from Portland dialing in. They both participated on the bootcamp in the winter last year, so November, December. And I recently participated on a UN food system independent dialogue, which was organized by Abby. So Abby, do you want to share just a few words? What were the outcomes and how was the experience for you from the organizer part?
Sure. Yeah. And thank you so much for participating in that. There were a couple other food and climate shapers who had attended as well. And the goal of the UN Food Systems Summit Dialogue was to gather different stakeholders together to discuss the future of food and what could be possible by 2030. The purpose of this particular dialogue was to look at food service and how to envision more sustainability and more equity for food and farm workers, more sustainable consumption patterns. So there was an array of attendees, including, chefs, people in food marketing, kind of on the corporate side, just a range of people. And it was really interesting to facilitate the discussion and see in terms of the outcomes. I would say a lot of people gravitated toward this idea that we need more transparent knowledge. And if we can help build more knowledge, we can help transform the system. And that's more knowledge for more transparent education to build a stronger and younger farming workforce, more transparent education about diet and disease and sustainability for food workers, and then for consumers to just understand more about what's possible and what's out there and the realities of how their consumption influences the environment and other people. So that was a big thread. And then just more livable wages, trying to understand how to fund increased wages and more livable livelihoods for food and farm workers. So we'll be collating all of the information and submitting it. Actually, I'm working on that today and tomorrow. So thank you for letting me share.
Thank you. So Lisa, hi. I am extremely sorry. So everyone needs to know, I always try to juggle the climate supper that it's either lunch or dinner time for all of the participants, and I failed. So for Lisa, it's 4 p.m. in the afternoon. I really hope that you managed to have like an afternoon snack situation going on.
Yeah, I made a snack instead of a meal for 4 p.m.
That's okay. So tell us, what did you prepare? I also think that you had a guest joining, right?
Yeah, I have a guest and she can join in a second. I invited Kristen Jensen. She's a food blogger, but she's been vegan for 5 years. So I wanted to kind of bring her in this conversation and, you know, just talk about what makes people switch to plant-based eating.
Welcome, Kristen.
Hello, thank you for having me. Yeah, go ahead, Lisa.
I was gonna say, I can just quickly talk really, you know, touch base on what I made, but I was kind of hoping this could be a discussion with Kristen and we could all just talk about plant-based eating. So what I made, I tried the cauliflower recipe from our session to varying degrees of success, but what I basically tried is, you know, roasting the florets, but then also using the stems. So getting rid of the kind of tough outer part and then roasting the insides as well. They're very roasted, but here's my cauliflower bits. And then on the same food waste train, I had a lot of oat milk that I'll admit is getting very close to its expiration date. So I was trying to find another creative way to use it. So I made some plant-based ice cream. And then I also, another food waste thing I had was at Christmas time, I made too many cookies. So I saved them in the freezer. And every time I want like kind of an ice cream sundae, I just take a cookie and crumble it on top. So those are my plant-based snacks.
Oh, thank you. I really would like to have the oat milk ice cream recipe. I never made one myself. So please share with us later.
Yeah, this was the first time I used oat milk instead of coconut milk. So the recipe might need some tweaking, but
all right.
it still tastes good.
Amazing. So Kristen, you became vegan, or you decided to go plant forward with your diet 5 years ago, if I listened correctly. What made you make this change?
Yeah, so Netflix documentaries, if I'm being totally honest. I watched a couple and then I kind of switched overnight. And the thing that hit me first was the health aspect of it. And so that's kind of what triggered me to make that change. But as I stayed in the plant-based community, I realized not only how strong it was, but how creative it was and how many more reasons there were to stay plant-based. And so I would then say the second thing that kind of kept me involved was the environmental aspect of it. I grew up living overseas my whole life and seeing, you know, a lot of different ways that people eat food, interact with food, the impacts that it has in different countries on the environment. I just really thought like this was a good place for me health-wise, but then also to make a bigger impact in my own kitchen and in the world in general. And so I've stuck with it now for about 5 years. I don't foresee myself going back. I'm kind of too far in it. And I really just enjoy, you know, the creativity that comes with it, the freshness, the food, the no waste aspect as much as you can, and just kind of being really friendly to people in the environment with it. And I'll share, I made a little snack too, so I'll share. I also did cauliflower. And so what I did was a pan roasted cauliflower, and I just took the whole head, the leaves and everything, and just chopped it up completely. So it's not like big florets, but it's kind of like rough chopped. And then I pan roasted that with some cumin seeds, and then I just added a ton of fresh herbs. So I did dill, cilantro, and parsley, mix it all together, some fresh lemon zest, lemon juice, And it's really pretty, it's really fresh. No one would ever know that there were like cauliflower leaves in it, or the stems at all. And then with the stems from the herbs, I always take all of those, blend them together with some garlic, some other spices, and I make like a little chimichurri with that. So I love being able to recycle different foods and also use everything that I purchase, because it makes me feel, better about not throwing things in the trash at the end of the week.
Amazing. And it sounds delicious and refreshing indeed. So
Yes.
Emily, I would like to involve you in this conversation because you are working for an organization now who is collecting and basically bringing local food to consumers. And you are also curating some recipes for them. So if there is a new produce, but they might not know, or it's not too common in the supermarket, that they can, become creative and make use of it. So can you please tell a bit about that, and maybe the last recipes, what you shared with them?
Oh man, I don't remember them. I do it.
What is in season now? I don't know.
So it's also 4 p.m. here, and it's very much March here. So it was nice 70 degrees today. However, it still is pretty cold at night, and there's not a lot growing. We're too early for asparagus, and I'm just giving these people potatoes every week. They're still getting butternut squash that wintered over. They're getting overwintered carrots, overwintered beets. I work for a company called Illuminate Food, which is here in New Jersey, and we're a farm box company. We buy local produce mostly from New Jersey, upstate New York, and a little bit of Pennsylvania. And we kind of make a different theme every week, and we provide them with an original recipe to use the stuff in the box. And then I also try to give them a lot of ideas for what they can do with the things in the box. And something that I really prioritize when I'm looking for these recipes is ways to use those beet greens, ways to, I always talk about saving your vegetable scraps for stock. I'm sorry, my neighbor's dog is barking. It's so loud. I don't know if you can hear it.
We have a lot of dogs joining our session, don't worry.
To me, but I tell them about how they can use their apple cores to make apple cider vinegar and things like that. And I really hope that people are doing these things. But last week's box was, we actually have a tortilla maker, a small scale tortilla maker in our area. So we got fresh tortillas, we gave them cotija cheese, and then we gave them a recipe for like sweet potato and black bean tacos. So I got some overwintered radishes that they could use and gave them a recipe for how to pickle them. I talk a lot about pickles because that's like the ultimate and most delicious way to preserve food, right? It lasts for weeks in the fridge. Things that are acidic and salty are the best foods, in my opinion. And so that was what we did last week, if I remember correctly. I feel like they all just blur together. And I'm always working a week ahead, so I can never remember if it was last week or this week coming up. But I think that's what we did.
That's okay. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So we also have someone else joining us in from the US, and she's also part of the Future Food team. So Ivani, I just want you to join. This is a bigger table now, and we just keep extending it. And the topic was raised around plant-forward diet. And so please feel free to join in. And I don't know if it aligns with the plans what you had for your climate supper, but maybe you can share with us and we can just continue as a roundtable discussion.
For sure.
Yeah. So where are you dialing in from? Direct, like from San Francisco, or where are you based right now?
No, from now, I just moved to San Diego in the beginning of the month. So I was living in San Francisco for the past 6 years. And then just trying to get a new feel and go back to my roots. So I came back with my parents for the year. And so it's just interesting I kind of developed my adulthood in San Francisco. I left San Diego when I was like 18. So it's interesting trying to understand, what my ecosystem is going to be. And given that in San Diego, I live in the more suburban area. So it'll be interesting to tap into maybe not necessarily like top universities, but even like more high school people that might be able to tap into maybe that level of education. So yeah, I'm working on it slowly. I know a lot of on the innovation side, it's been a little bit intense. So trying to balance everything out, but yeah.
So what is your connection to this plant forward, let's say, trend? Because it is becoming a trend. You can see different new products coming on the shelf. So what is your opinion about it? How is your diet?
I think I've been, well, because a big reason why is because working with Future Food, I've just started to realize, I mean, food has always been a huge vital thing in my family, given that I have Mexican roots. And so food has always been the center of bonding and our culture. But growing up, I'm just very passionate about involving food into women's health. And given that women's health is a very unlinear thing, and we never are taught to like turn to food to maybe address our menstruation needs, our fertility needs, and even after that, which is like menopause as well. So that's something that I would like to maybe kind of have it cross together, like between women's health and food. And especially when it comes to, you know, women get their periods between 8 to 13 years old. And I'm 23 now, and I have one of my cousins who is currently also really passionate as well. So we're just, you know, the question is like, why is it that I am currently have dealt with my menstruation 10 years, and only now am I trying to understand what is going to work for me? What do I need to eat a week before my period, during my period, and after my period, so I can have a better balance of my own body? Because I just, you know, we feel like taking all these pills at the end of the day kind of has a very negative impact on your body, and you're kind of not attacking it from your root. You know, if you're reacting a certain way, there's a reason. You know, my hormonal way is not the same as my neighbor. So it's kind of like teaching young girls to develop that relationship in an early age, and maybe we can avoid like all the problems that we developed as women in general. So that's kind of the angle that I'm interested to explore, and then I'm trying to understand how to attack. So
that's very interesting and important. And actually, we had someone from Berlin dialing in a few minutes ago who is working on a very similar project. So maybe we will ask Nicole to connect you with Dania, and you can maybe exchange some thoughts. I think she has been running her project for the past couple of years around that. So I'm very, very happy to see a new topic coming up on the Climate Supper. This is now the third Climate Supper we are running, and we have topics that are coming up repetitively, let it be food waste recovery or eliminating waste out of our kitchens, right? Plant forward diets. And that was the first time when actually such health and human related angle was taken. So I'm very happy to hear this. Is anyone else here who would like to add maybe to this part of the conversation? Yes, so that shows me that we are not necessarily well informed yet about it, but I think we have to start talking about and learning more about this. I completely agree. Yeah. Amazing. Abby.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that I think this is a really interesting topic, and I think that as people think of food as medicine and thinking of it more like the whole foods that can offer different services to our bodies at different times, and the uniqueness of that, as opposed to thinking of food properties that can be put into pills or taken in a different way. And there's so much that our traditional cultures can teach us about food as medicine as well. And you know, there are these kind of human health issues that we deal with, be it menstruation not as an issue, it's a reality, but it's something that you know, there's probably a lot of wisdom that we can learn from just listening to what our ancestors did in these circumstances, and how there was kind of inherent balance using the kind of local ingredients that were around, which all have different properties. We can be in very different places, but we can seek out things from the ground, especially from plants that have really similar properties that can nourish us and be built into a diet, not only made into a tea, but really made into like our lunches and our dinners. And I think you also brought up something that I feel strongly about, which is that each of us are unique. We have our own ecosystem, our stress levels, our location of where we are, and all of these things impact how we can care for ourselves. So there's not one blanket way to eat, right? And even plant forward is really important. And there are some conditions which do require people to consume some small amounts of meat for health reasons, right? So I think it's really interesting. I studied health supportive cooking in culinary school and did that as a career for years. And so I'm particularly passionate about it. And I'm happy to see that this is a topic that's now coming to be a thread through the climate suppers.
I think it's really interesting too, because when I think back to, when I was younger, none of that type of education existed. And so now being an adult and having to face those issues, it's almost like you're backtracking to really figure out, how does your body work? What are the best things for it? And it's years, for lack of a better word, wasted. You could have felt so much better. You could have been dealing with your cycle so much more efficiently. And so I think that it's going to be a really strong movement for the next generation coming up on how do we realistically educate them so that it doesn't just involve medicine all the time, but it is really about the food. How do we introduce those high nutrient foods into kids when they're young so they understand that it helps their bodies function better and helps them feel better? So I'm really excited to kind of see all of that come to fruition, especially for these younger generations, and also just to continue to educate, myself and people that are our age moving forward to really take control of your health during those times, and to really understand it a lot better, because I think that the education has been kind of not there unless you're very, very specifically looking for it, which I don't think a lot of people know to look for that either. So it's very interesting. It'll be really exciting to see the future of that.
It's like, to me, it's just like crazy, because going back to how there's so many herbs and even just plants that literally from like 2 years to now that I'm starting to learn and I'm like, this whole year I've been trying to experiment on like, okay, I've heard turmeric before, like drinking turmeric a week before your period kind of reduces nauseous, and then eating blueberries, and then oregano tea and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, now that's like another thing of more connecting with like my roots and my mom, she's like forwarding all the herbs that her mom would like teach her about. And she just planted some in the garden. And so now I have like my own source of whenever I have my period, like that's going to be added into my tea. And wow, did it really make a difference after 10 years of just popping a pill and not understanding that, my body needs certain vitamins and certain things. And yeah, so it's just an exciting thing. And I just hope that moonshotting, dreaming, whatever, maybe some kind of education can even like, I don't know, just especially in high school, I would say like I feel like it's so vital as a teenager. So it was just another conversation I've been having with my cousin, because she works in the district in where I live, and she was just explaining the same thing, like, why are we constantly learning about A equals MC squared, whatever, but we don't even know about our own like bodily functions, so yeah.
Thank you for bringing up the topic. I really liked how our last 20 minutes went from plant-based diet and food as medicine. So we actually touched on a lot of different topics, yet they are all somehow connected to each other. I would like to introduce our next participant, Svetlana, dialing in also from the US, close to San Francisco. Hi, Svetlana.
Hi guys.
How are you?
I'm good. It's nice to see all your faces.
Yes. So tell us, it's very nice and sunny where you are.
Yes, so it's like a nice day outside today. So I decided to do my supper outside with my friends. So yes, I did invite a few friends over. I tried to get somebody from food industry to kind of participate, but It was difficult. No, it was difficult. So it didn't happen. So I kind of dug in to my brain a little bit more, and I thought, like, what else can I do? And we had that session with Gwen when we had to figure out what's the dormant resource. And I figured that my close friends are the dormant resource that I could come up with, that, you know, I could involve somebody who is not in the industry, or like you said, the consumer, who could actually participate and probably talk to them about something that's important and maybe kind of set their minds a little bit in a different way, hopefully. So
Very good plan.
I have my friends here. I don't know if you can see all of them.
Hi.
So yes, and I wanted to talk a little bit about what I made today. So I promised them a nice, sustainable, and delicious lunch. I hope I could live up to my promises. But I made this dish. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna try to do this. This is the rice with shrimp, Mediterranean shrimp, and the way I say sustainable is because normally I would prepare something that has meat in it. And learning more and more about how we grow our meat and how much of the effect it has on the environment, and it, you know, all the 14.5% of greenhouse gases come from growth of the proteins, of animal protein. That was very eye-opening and shocking to me. So I was trying to come up with something that's a little bit more sustainable. When I looked, actually, the seafood. Shrimp was one of the worst things from the perspective, from the sustainability perspective, but that's something that I had in my freezer. So I decided to incorporate a different concept and try to use only ingredients that I could find in my freezer or fridge to make the supper. So I'm not wasting some of the stuff that was in there. So I actually dug up some vegetables, and I noticed that they were kind of getting older and they're not as pretty as they were, you know, when I bought them. And I decided, okay, I'm going to just throw them and cook them with the shrimp. I actually had some photos that I wanted to share. I don't know if I could share my screen.
Of course, yeah, go ahead.
As I was preparing the meal, I took some photos. So I wanted to show you guys. My friends are trying to eat really quietly here. They're really trying. So I'm gonna try. My computer's been very slow. Okay.
No worries. Okay.
Can you guys see that?
Yes. Loads of garlic I can see there. Very good.
I wanted to show, I don't know if I can zoom. The garlic, it kind of started growing the little stems of, so it started sprouting. Yes, thank you. So, you know, it was about time to either use it or throw it away. And then, yes, I used a lot of vegetables. The tomatoes were a little bit soft already. So, you know, another day or two, I would have to throw them away. The bell peppers, they're not perfect, as you can see, the same as onions. The cilantro was pretty fresh, and I did have some leftover wine that I added into the dish. It's a white wine, so yes. And there's, of course, some spices. So let me see if I could, I don't know if I could just click for the images. I guess I can't. But anyways, you guys saw the finished product, but this was, okay, sorry, I'm having troubles here, but
don't worry.
The other thing I did want to share, I also prepared a banana bread. For same reason, I had a lot of dark bananas that were about to go away. So I used all of these and I made banana bread with for this supper. I'm going to show you the finished product. I'll try at least.
Oh, wow. They look very good. And what about the peas? Did you keep the peas and try to incorporate some of the ideas what we shared last week?
I thought about it, but my bananas were not like organic or anything. So I was a little bit worried about the pesticides in them. So again, one of the chef manifestos was food safety, right? So I wanted to be careful about that, and I actually threw them away, unfortunately.
No,
But
that's
one of the
okay.
ideas, though, actually, I was thinking about, I could use that to add it to water my plants inside the house. Somebody at the
Yes.
one of the sessions offered that to me. Yeah, so I'll do that actually.
Amazing. Well,
Yeah.
Svetlana, thank you so much. I really don't want your meal to get cold. And you said that your guests are already quietly eating, so I think we should let you enjoy the meal what you prepared as well.
Thank you so much, Julia. It was nice seeing everybody. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
So yes, and now Lauren, I think we have someone who was supposed to dial in from the US, but she decided to take a different angle on our climate supper, and she prepared a video. So I will ask Francesca to share with us what Luna prepared, who, by the way, has also a project which is combining art and food waste, or actually fighting food waste through art. We can also share Vayanaya. I think that's the name of the site, but we can share the link in the chat. So let's see what Luna did for the climate supper.
Okay guys, so I don't think this is necessarily something I should be doing, but this is my neighbor's garden, urban garden in front of her house. I'm not asking for permission, but I'm just want to make sure that I have like organic, homemade grown ingredients, because I am making some pasta for the supper. So this is like my first fresh ingredients right here, and I wanted to share with you my scavenger hunt around the city. So I would like to show you guys that what I'm doing is I'm preparing myself some corn, boiling it. I mean, there's no salt or anything, and what I'm aiming to do is just repurpose this water so I can make some pasta, and that is, I will explain later what the project is all about, but just to give you some insights, not that you necessarily need, but just so you understand the process of my cooking. Hi everyone, this is Luna here. I believe we met before. So I am not going to be participating on person because, I mean, live, not on person, not any one of us who participating on person. I'm not going to be participating live because I am in the middle of moving. So our session, our meditation session on Thursday asked us to be more vulnerable. So I just want to share a little bit of what's going on. So I'm in between moving and stuff like this. So right now I'm preparing everything so I can deliver this food for this project here in Portland called PDX Free Fridges. And what I'm doing is I just moved into my friend's house and she left a lot of food. And what I'm trying to do is just make sure that everything that is still good to go can be prepared so nothing goes wasted. And I found like a lot of macaroni and cheese. So what I'm doing is I just throw away all the sauce for the cheese stuff because I don't like to eat this kind of ingredients, and I want to make sure that whatever I'm cooking has my soul in it. But I got a lot of good pasta out of it, like Barilla and some other organic let's see, another organic brands from the US, like Annie's, for instance. I have Barilla here, Barilla, all kinds of stuff that I found at her house. Another very good like organic, non-GMO brand. So what I'm doing is just I am preparing like pastas that look differently. So this is going to be like a crazy kind of pasta. And I also found a lot of tomato soups, and I was like, well, this is not exactly the nonna tomato sauce, but I'm going to add some fresh onions. Yesterday I did some scavenger hunt around. I told you guys that I like doing this kind of stuff, so I realized that her neighbor, she grows a couple of greens on her like on her balcony, and I just grabbed some of them. So I have parsley, I have a lot of fresh oregano, I have green onions. So what I'm planning to do is I'm still boiling some pasta. That's a huge bowl over there, you can see, with all different kinds of pasta. And I bought like 20 of those containers, pretty much. So right now what I'm trying to do is I'm gonna finish preparing the tomato sauce, cooking all the pasta. I'm gonna wrap everything together. I'm gonna label, like saying what are the ingredients that they have inside. And later on today, I'm still working, so I'm multitasking at this moment. As soon as I have the meals prepared and I have them packaged in containers and labeled everything, I will go and drop this off at the fridge. PDX free fridges, basically, they have like, I don't know, maybe 20 fridges around the town, around the city for homeless or whoever else that is suffering from food insecurity that can come and either get like prepared food or dried food. I also have, like, I stuck here just so you can see it a little bit here. I also have dried food here and some other things that are not related to this project in particular, but just so you guys have an idea what's going on. And I'm going to have everything delivered. So I'm not eating with them, but this is me cooking for them. And I won't even know who are the people who are going to eat this meal, but I'm pretty sure with our energy in this, they're going to have an amazing meal very soon. So I will come back with a video showing the drop-off. Bye. Okay, everybody, last part of the mission. So here I am at the location I told you guys about. Usually they have like fridges, freezers, spaces for you to put dry food, spaces for you to microwave. Sometimes you can even drop clothes like I'm bringing today. I would like for you to see like everything is properly packed and the ingredients are over there. I hope they love this food. It's mainly just the nonna tomato pasta, super simple. I didn't even add salt because I don't know who is eating it. So, well, I hope everybody's enjoying each meal, and let's just keep up with the good work. Bye.
Wow. So such a nice initiative, and I really hope that Luna really happy that she got creative how to still manage to be part of the climate supper and invite some people around this virtual table we have here who we don't even know. So I really hope that there were a few people who could enjoy that pasta in Portland. So yes, sorry, I just my thoughts went tiny bit off track with those fridges and initiatives. But we have some new participants joining us already, actually from Brazil. And I know we are 2 minutes earlier, but if you are already there, I'm very happy to invite Nicola, Joy, and more participants or members of the social gastronomy movement on screen. And we have Sarah with us as well. So very good. The table is growing and growing. I'm very happy to see this. Hi.
Hi, everyone. We're actually going to be cooking together. So we're not just eating. And I watched a few and there was not much cooking and eating going on. So we'll change that.
Yes, please do. Please do. It was a very diverse solution.
Ciao, ciao, ciao. Well, we're waiting for a few special guests. I know Joyce has already done her mise en place as well. So she's, I guess, not at the camera right now, but I know she's done it. We have an active group chat.
I'm just trying to fix the camera. I can't open it, but I'm joining with another computer.
Okay, perfect. We're gonna have actually as well some special guests where we're joining from the social gastronomy movement. So we have Susanna that's gonna join us, and she's gonna lead us through the recipe. So she used to be a chef at the Refettorio Gastromotiva that I shared in one of our classes as well, but we launched in 2016 with Chef Massimo Bottura and Alessandra Forbes in Rio. And so she has loads of experience of cooking zero waste and upcycling and giving new life and repurposing food. So she'll teach us a few things now. But yeah, in general, I can give an introduction to the social gastronomy movement as well. People are joining. Zaya just joined as well.
Yeah.
Julia, what's the best way as we're waiting?
Yes, while we are waiting, but as we have Sarah online as well, maybe we just allow her, because I see some table behind her, so maybe she's also part of a dining experience right now. So maybe she can fill the gap while we wait for the rest of her team, and then we can. Amazing.
So ciao everyone. Yes, I'm also part of a big convivium here. I'm in Pollica, the global capital of Mediterranean diet, and we are experiencing a real Cilentano dinner together with our friends here in Pollica. So yes, today we are also running our marathon. And of course, we are experiencing what Mediterranean diet says. So the complete balance between what is good for you and good for the planet, eating all the produce that they've been foraging today in their garden. So wild asparagus, lemons from their trees, all the herbs that they were foraging for us all day long. So it's been pretty amazing to see really how they are connected with the rhythm of the nature here in this land. It's unbelievable how they are really balancing the entire rhythm of their life with what nature offers them every single day. So we are here, we're gonna connect also later on because your dinners are very long and very rich. So I'm sure that we're gonna reconnect also in the next hours. And I look forward to see Nicola and our friends from the social gastronomy movement and learn from them and their recipe.
Amazing. Thank you, Sarah. Enjoy the feast. And yeah, so I think we had Mary already joining. So Nicola, if you are ready, you are more than welcome to maybe share a bit more about the social gastronomy movement, so that the audience can also know what is this movement, what we are mentioning now multiple times.
Sure. I'm just gonna turn this off, otherwise I'm gonna get in trouble for burning everything. It is slightly burned, actually, I have to admit. But okay, since we don't have a camera on.
No one saw it.
No, it's still okay. But yeah, the social gastronomy movement is a network of amazing social entrepreneurs, chefs, farmers, activists that believe in the power of food to transform realities. So it's a network of more than 150 organizations, I believe, nowadays, in more than 52 countries on the 5 continents. And what we have in common is using food for social good. And so this can look in very different ways, from nutrition work in communities. It can be social inclusion for food, like we were doing at Gastromotiva as well, where social gastronomy was born. So it's educating people with the skills in order to first of all start believing in themselves again and start finding opportunities in the job market. So when we talked about dormant resources, this is a dormant resource as well. These amazing beings that just never had opportunities. And so anyways, there's so many great things. There are other organizations that work with food waste, and there are some that work with farmers' inclusion, working on their livelihoods and cutting out the middlemen. So we're plenty, but the group that's joining us for our little dinner here can share as well. So on that note, I can introduce a few of our special guests that are duplicate here. Hi, Mari. So we have, first of all, Nadi, that used to be part of the social gastronomy movement team and now is running her own organization. And Susanna, who's going to lead us through the recipe that's running around there with Mari. She's going to actually run us through the recipe a little bit. Zaya, that was just waving from Mongolia. She's here in Brazil with us, but she's part of the social gastronomy movement team in Curitiba. And then Joy hopefully figures out her connection because she's also part of the bootcamp and the co-host of today. But I guess I heard her.
Yes, she's joining with another device now, so hopefully.
There we go. That's probably her, yeah. There we go. Yay.
We're here. Well, thank you, Nikki, for the introduction already, but I'm super excited for this. I'm really enjoying a lot the bootcamp, so I'm excited for this recipe. We already have our whole mise en place here and just waiting for our chef for us to start.
Ha! We followed the lead. Look at us. We're ready as well.
Yeah,
And this is Pachi.
it's amazing to see.
Pachi was on my ecosystem map as well for Curitiba. She's everyone's going to do their own introductions afterward, but she's a supporter of the social gastronomy movement and a communicator. Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you.
Girls. All right. Should we start with a recipe soup so that we can actually start doing and then we can tell the stories? Because I think everyone has a little story to tell while we're cooking.
Sure. Okay. I'm speaking and I'm here myself.
That's improvisation. That's amazing. Let's go.
So I don't know. I just start with the recipe or introduce anything. Introduce myself. What I do.
Go introduce yourself, start with a recipe, and then I want to ask a few questions about your experience at Refectorio Gastromotiva and what Refectorio is for those that are watching and don't know.
Okay.
Great.
So I'm Susana. I'm a cook. I am now currently living in Florianópolis, in the south of Brazil. I'm working in a restaurant here. I used to work in Gastromotiva, worked there for many years.
3 years or so, I guess.
And there I discovered the zero waste food, and it's now my purpose of life, of cook up what I do. It's what I believe. So this recipe, I discovered what's the name of the
passion fruit?
No,
the pulp.
The white part?
Yeah, the white part of the pulp.
So this is a very famous fruit here in Brazil. We use it a lot, but we only use the pulp. I'm gonna cut it, just the pulp. But it's this part. You can see this part can be like 70% of the fruit. So there's no sense to throw this away. So what we're gonna do is show you one way of how to use this part, but there's a lot of ways. I already made a mess here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna separate the pulp and we're gonna use this part. The only problem of this part of the fruit is that it's very bitter. Bitter?
Yeah.
Bitter. It's very bitter. So to make this pleasant to eat, we have to boil it like 4 to 5 times. Sometimes 4, sometimes 5. You just have to taste it. So what we're gonna do is just put it in a pan, cover with water, let it boil. Let me get the, sorry. To speed up a little bit of things, I'll just boil the water here. And we can start with the other things.
Just want to say that
we're gonna put it here.
Sue,
How do you say entre casca?
that for us to, in order to know if it's really tasted. So I just tasted it and it tastes amazing. I think I did it right.
Yay! So what we're gonna do, it's a salad, a chickpea salad. And we're gonna put some of these tomatoes, red onions, cashew nut, but you can put whatever you want. It's just one way. I really like to use this part of the passion fruit to make vinaigrette. Vinaigrette, because you're gonna see.
This is how it looks like.
This is how
afterwards.
it will look like. So, like this, it doesn't taste anything. It's like smellless, tasteless. So,
Nikki, do you want to try a bite?
You can. Okay, I haven't tried yet. So you can put whatever you want here, and it's amazing. You can make the flavor. It's like tofu or shushu. People say that has no taste. But it's nice. You can make it nice. You just put whatever you want.
I just, out of curiosity, I just posted that we would be online right now, and she told me that her mom used to use this part of the passion fruit.
Really?
But to do sweets.
Yes, we use it a lot because this part is very rich in pectina.
Pectina? Is it how do we say it? It's the thing that makes things go hard,
That
like
makes give texture to the jams.
Pectin.
This is actually very, very, very precious to use in jams.
Nice.
After you do all this process, you just put it in a blender and process it, and you will get a pasta.
Like a paste?
Like a puree. And
my mom will love to know
you can
that
put whatever
because
fruit you want, and sugar and a little bit of acid.
Sorry, Patricia, what were you saying?
no, my mom will love to know that because she likes to do jams with like strawberries or fruits, and
Yes,
she
so
always
you can
buys
use this
pectin
as a base.
So
Yes,
amazing.
you can use this as
Amazing.
a base. It's amazing
Very
to
nice to
use
know.
actually to make passion fruit jam. You put them together. You put this in the blender, process it, and then
Add the fruit
add
that
this
you want.
and sugar. Put it in a pan and cook a little bit, and we'll get like a lighter and lighter until it gets
Transparent.
and almost transparent.
Hi, I actually have a question.
And you have the jam. And you have the amazing texture.
Sue,
of the
someone
jam.
has a question.
I actually have a question. Since you said it has pectin, can we substitute it for like gelatin, for example, if we're making a passion fruit mousse? Can I use this, the actual outside part of it, to make it harder for the mousse to actually become a mousse instead of the gelatin?
Can you repeat? I think it was a bit. The voice was a little low.
Okay, if it's a little too low. Can I use this instead of the gelatin for, let's say, passion fruit mousse? Instead of the gelatin, can I use this because of the pectin?
Oh,
to make
okay,
it
I understand.
consistent?
No, you will get a jam texture. You won't get a texture harder than a jam. It's the texture of a jam, but it's not harder. I never tried to cook it a lot, but I don't think you will get that texture of the gelatin.
Okay.
And it doesn't get too fluffy to make a mousse. Maybe if you mix with I don't know, with the egg whites, or maybe even this what we are using here today. Maybe actually it's a good.
That's a challenge.
That's a challenge.
Challenge accepted.
Because we're gonna use the aquafaba, and it gets another texture. Maybe mixing with it. We'll see. Maybe a mousse. So I don't. There's one thing when you make. When you're gonna make a jam using this, you don't want this to cook a lot, because the pectin, it's hydrosoluble. Like
wow, it goes with the water. So
if you cook it a lot, you
lose it.
Lose a part of it. So what we're gonna do here, we're not going to use the pectin, but so what you're gonna do is just cover with the water and just let it simmer a little, and then take it off. And then you do this for 5 times.
So since we have a mise en place and limited time, do you want to run us just through the recipe so that we can tell the other stories and everything else? Because I feel like everyone's pre-cooked their skin and
Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. You let it simmer and take it off. And this is what you're gonna get after doing it for 5 times. 5 times.
Great. I think everyone has it ready.
You just to take this yellow part, this yellow part here, it's too hard. It doesn't have a good texture. The outer skinner, the outer yellow part. So we're gonna take it off. With a spoon is easier. But just for the start, when it's do it when it's still warm, because it's easier. And then you just do this. Unpeel them. Just this. A little bit of patience. Just the bullet. So this, and then you get this. See? This part is what we are gonna use.
It looks like a great joker. You can use, depending on the recipe, it can go like with salty and sweet. And
Exactly
it represents, we could put this onto the scale, but I would say it's like 60% of the total weight of the passion fruit is this part, which goes straight to the trash.
So I'm just going to cut this in small dices, just like this.
Little squares, is this what you do?
Yes.
You do the squares.
It's okay.
Patricia, have you written this before?
No, not like this. Usually I don't value it, but I'm liking it. I like shushu, by the way.
So as we're cutting it, I want to, because a lot of people that are here joining us, and yay, cheers, Julia. That's perfect after a long day.
Sorry, I thought this is 9 o'clock for me now. We are approaching the end of this climate supper. So cheers, I'm listening.
No, it's perfect. I want to bring in some more stories, and we had already a few glasses of wine, so don't worry, it's part of. So as we're talking, because a few times we mentioned Gastromotiva, so that is the organization that I was co-leading until recently, actually, and that's where the social gastronomy movement was born. So Sue mentioned that's where actually her and Mari used to work as well, and that's where she got inspired for these recipes and never again wasting anything. So actually one of the, so Gastromotiva is most known for educational classes. So as I was mentioning before, offering skill sets to people that maybe didn't have the same opportunities as others, and just to as well start with self-belief. So Joy, actually, one of our wonderful shapers as well, she used to be one of the Gastromotiva students. So I wanted to actually, I don't know if Julia even knew that, so I wanted Joy to share a little bit, maybe as we're preparing some of these steps, to share your story and how it transformed you as well. And then we can, jump into some other people's stories.
Thank you, Nikki. Well, that's how I got so lucky to get to know Nikki. Actually, I was a part of the first class of Gastronomy here in my city. And it was really special because David Hertz, the founder of Gastronomy, he is from Curitiba. So it was really special for him to be here. But for me, I was always passionate about food. It was always a big part of my life. But like Nikki said, I was lacking opportunity. So that's why a whole new world, I'm sorry for the cliche, but opened up to me, because I think that before that, I only had this ties with food, of course, by loving to cook and to eat and the traditions in my family, but I never looked at it as a whole. Like, where is this food coming from? What are we doing with it? Just the respect that we treat the food, the producers of everything. So getting to know a little bit more about that, teaching kids about that as well as a part of the classes. So that was amazing. And teaching Adri, who's here, she is my best friend, and she learned a lot in the process too. And for me, it's amazing now. 5 years later, after this course, I'm working in the social gastronomy movement. I take care of all of our members, the connections they do. I just foster this connection so they can work together. And it has become a passion of mine to try to be zero waste and try to be more sustainable in my daily life. So I think that it has been really inspiring, this whole journey, and now the boot camp as well. And I think that Adri can introduce herself as well, because she has been learning a couple of things today, and she has a couple of things to teach as well.
Hi, you guys. I'm Adrienne, and I am Joy's best friend. Easiest to know that way. I'm actually originally from the US, but I live in Curitiba now. And up to when I met Joy, food was just food. And I mean just food, I mean like I'm putting McDonald's and Taco Bell and everything under the same thing. It was just food. After Joy, I started learning that, okay, food is a little bit more than just what we put in our mouths. It has a lot more meaning, to a point that she has also inspired me for Waste Zero. So zero waste food. Right now, everything we're doing, we're actually making sure that everything is not going to the garbage. Everything is being reused. From the onion peels to the garlic peels, which will later become vegetable broths, up to, like, for example, what we just took out from the passion fruit, which will later become food for my domestic compounder. So I feed my little worms here, and everything turns into hummus, which is a kind of dirt that we can reuse for plants. And also the juice that creates from the compound goes back to all my plants here in the apartment. I live in an apartment in the city, but I do have my own herbs, which I've been learning to maintain myself with everything. So everything becomes a cycle. Everything that is waste becomes juice for my plants, which are basil, rosemary, all these things. So the idea from today that was supposed to be from farm to table actually hit a little closer to home than you guys imagine, being from, our own home to the table. So that was really nice. Thank you for the experience.
That is almost Corona safe. I also just check in, Susanna, and we are all, like, for us, we have all the mise en place, everything done, pre-cooked. You give us just instructions what to do in between, and then I want to jump to as well, share a little bit for Luisa and Zaya that are in the other room. We're going in doubles today. And hi, Renata, I saw you joining as well.
Okay, so the difficult part is just to do this with the passion fruit. The rest, if you already have the chickpeas cooked, you just
Drain.
Here's the water. Don't throw it away.
And the
This
water
is
we keep for the mayonnaise.
Yes, we are keeping it for the mayo, Nikki.
Yeah,
perfect. Okay.
And then we just mix it all together.
So shall we start doing the mayo now, because it takes a while in the blender? So and then we mute our mics because no one deserves this noise. And then we go to Zaya and Luisa. Nikki, what do you think?
Perfect. That sounds great.
Cool.
So this is the aquafaba. It's the water of the chickpeas. The chickpeas. We used to cook the chickpeas. So we're gonna use this to make the mayo.
So it's the drained water.
And it's the same process of a mayo. You just put
I've
it in
never
a
done
blender.
mayo, so please instructions.
Okay, yes. Forgot the word. So just put the liquid here in the blender, and we're gonna put the oil in a
very thin stream.
Slowly, very slowly, and while it's.
How do you say emulsificar, Nikki? Do you know? Like when something gets creamy, gets to the point of
It's
like a mayo.
emulsified, so it's like blends together and becomes creamy. It's all fine. I think we understand.
Cool. It's because there's like this technical words and we don't know.
This gets a very, very, very light taste because it's not a real mayo, the traditional mayo. So if you want to put any seasoning here, you can do it now. Just put now a little, I don't know, garlic, maybe garlic, or I don't really like the raw taste of garlic. It doesn't make me feel good. So I baked till yesterday, but I'm not feeling like using it.
Yeah, maybe just some lemon.
I'm just put a little bit of lemon after we finish here. So just the aquafaba and oil.
Okay,
vegetable
and
oil.
lemon.
When is this? And we're gonna put it like slowly, and that's it. Until
and then we mix it, yeah?
You will see the texture. It will get thicker.
Okay. And then we just mix it, yeah?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
I
it.
think there was a question from one of the recipe makers if they have to let the aquafaba cool down.
Yes. So there is there is a pulo do gato.
A trick.
All the grains that like this that doesn't have that thicker part outside, like castanhas, for instance, nuts, for instance, they have antinutriente.
It's something that doesn't help your stomach.
Não, como é que fala? Tem uma substância.
Substance?
There's a substance that's not very good for us. It's known as an anti-nutrition. So it's called fitato in Portuguese. And that's one of the reasons that you get a little not very well after eating chickpeas, beans, and all of this. And this substance, it goes away with the water. So that's why your grandmas normally use always to say that you have to put them in underwater, covered with water, before you cook, before you eat it. It's not a lenderbana. It's not a myth. It's real. So when you put this in water, cover with water, and let it for like at least 4 hours, you will lose this substance, and this will get much better for you and for the recipe. So you have to put it underwater. You can leave it during the night, and you have to change the water. Throw the first water away because it's where this substance is. Put it to boil, and that water is what you are going to use. So after you drain it, you have to let it cook a little bit more until it gets until you get this texture like this. It's not so watery. It's a little bit more.
It's a little bit
creamy.
thicker than water.
A little bit more
And
creamy.
we can start mixing it.
Cool. So Zaya and Luisa, don't mix yet because I'm gonna like pass the word to you quickly.
Julia is saying something here. This is canned chickpeas out of coincidence. So we bought this one ready. So they both work.
So someone
this
was
water here
asking-
is from canned.
You can use the one that comes in the can.
So Camila was asking if she would need to soak it even if she's buying the pre-cooked one. So I just answered that no, because when you buy the canned one, it's already in the cooking water.
It is. So you can use the water that you just drained from the can.
Yeah, it works the same way. Okay.
And I'm gonna mute so we don't hurt anyone's ears.
I will just add that when you buy the canned chickpeas, there's a brand here in Brazil that they sell it with only water, salt, and the chickpeas. So there's no preservatives.
or anything like that. It's just it, so it's super healthy for you to eat as well.
And cheers, Julia. We're with you now. Cheers, everyone. You should never drink alone. So we quickly brought our wine, you know. Zaya and Luisa, I know you. Yay, Joyce, very good. Do you want to tell your quick story with Social Gastronomy Movement? Both of you were working on a really special project last year, which was the Food Solidarity Fund, which Luisa helped as a volunteer. So when we mapped the ecosystem, Luisa was on our map as well. As a communicator, as a communications agency, because whatever you do in the sustainability or in the social world needs to be communicated. It's all about storytelling. And so that's why both Patch is down there getting us water to balance it out. and Luisa were the storytellers of some of our initiatives. And Zaya was actually the one leading the fund. And so I'd love to just, you know, give you a quick moment to share, Zaya, what the fund was and how it emerged. I think that's the beauty of bringing people together. And Luisa, what it meant for you, I guess, to contribute with communications and the stories. Zaya's like, yeah, she always does that. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here and to see also people that I admire so much in my life. My name is Zaya. I'm originally from Mongolia, as Nikki said, but I'm currently based in south of Brazil, in the same city as Nikki and Joy, in Curitiba. Well, before I just jump quickly to tell you more about what was the story of the Food Solidarity Fund that we run last year at the Social Gastronomy Movement, just to explain why I got here, maybe. Well, I had quite a nomad life. So from Mongolia, I also passed through Europe as well. For my school, I graduated from law school, and pretty much I was like thinking that I know like stuff, I can work, I can live, and it was before I went to the Refeitório Gastromotiva in Rio. And for the first time, I saw the kitchen and I saw Susanna, who is cooking here, that I thought like, oh my God, with all my master degrees, I know nothing about food waste. I was wasting so much food at home. And it just really struck me, like how you can spend so many years at school, at university, and come out with like no knowledge of nutrition or about like food. So I got enchanted and I started working at Gastromotiva in Rio, and afterwards I joined the Social Gastronomy Movement Now team globally. And so that's my connection. So I really much admire it's a very hard work. I wanted to say this. It's a very hard work to be chef at Refeitório. And I just fell in love with Sue's passion, creativity, dedication, and really like humbleness. And so that's why last year when COVID hit, and I think Nikki mentioned that we are a network of like interconnected communities, and we have different social gastronomy organizations like Gastromotiva in our network. And so when COVID hit, we ran a communication campaign, which was called Solidarity Chain, where we really asked our community like what were they doing, like how they were responding to COVID, like how COVID impacted them. And so we heard from all of them how they really needed funds to keep their doors open to serve the most marginalized communities and just do their work. And so that's where the idea of the fund was born. And then we never ran a fund, and I'm not going to pretend that I have this knowledge of like setting up an international fund whatsoever. But then because it's SGM, like we really co-create all of our initiatives, we set up a series of roundtables where we invited not only our community members, but also like experts, like our partners, and we all sat and thought like how we can set up this fund and very quickly. And so that's where we collaborated with like Ashoka, with former president of Brazil Foundation, with amazing organizations, and we all within like less than 6 months we set up the fund. We partnered with the 50 Best Restaurants Network on the biggest online bid campaign to support the restaurant industry. We got our $100,000 US. We ran the whole the whole like selection process, call to application. We received like 60 applications, and Joy was like, that's how Joy also joined our team. It was very now even thinking about this, like, you know, I feel tired because it was so much stress, because we were like working with like emergency, and so many times Joy and I and the team, we cried because we really did not know how to choose organizations to support and who we leave behind. And so we really did our best, and I think it was such a success. And we chose 10 organizations that show the most innovative and collaborative ways to really serve and cook and deliver meals from 10 countries around the world. We provided beyond financial support, we also provided our community support that Joy mentioned, like everything she does to support our members. And we also ran a storytelling campaign. And that's, I think, a beautiful link because I believe that also one of the roles of social gastronomy is to elevate the voices of these organizations, of these individuals. And that's the power of communication. And I'm really happy to introduce my friend Luisa, who was very late today, by the way. But she came with beautiful flowers. So
I bring some flowers to say sorry.
Yeah,
no,
so
my phone
situation.
died and I couldn't find the address of Zaya, so.
Yeah, but basically, yeah, Luisa, she is with me in Curitiba. She has a beautiful marketing creative agency that she also uses for good. And so I let Luisa introduce herself. Thank you.
Hi for everyone. Nice to meet you. For who I don't know, Julia, Lauren, Mari, I know, Sue, I don't know, Renata, Sara, Camila, Julia, and I don't know the Nick's friends. What is her name? Patrícia?
Yes, Patrícia. Patrícia, aqui em Curitiba também.
In Curitiba também. Nice.
Also in communications, so we can build the bridge right after.
Yes, please. So I'm Luisa. I work in Tela, which means screen in Portuguese, and we work with projects in marketing and communication. So last year, when the COVID arrived, we started a campaign called Ideas Can Go Outside of Home, and we helped 15 projects to make things different because they needed, because they were like the pandemic make them must to rethink about their business. So we helped these 15 projects, and one of them was social gastronomy movement. It was a pleasure to help, but it was easy because the team was amazing and everything like went to the flow, because Zaya, Nikki, Joy, they were amazing. And that's it. That's it. Nice to meet you.
I don't know if our time allows, but may I ask, because I think during COVID, it was very needed for a lot of projects to think out of the box and take a different direction, even if they didn't necessarily want to. So what was that change, what you needed to, what social gastronomy movement took, if we can summarize it in maybe a sentence? Sorry.
I think it's what Zaya was saying before, it's listening. It was the first thing, just stop everything we're doing and listening what's happening in the communities, because in the end we're supporting those that are at the front lines. So accelerating change by bringing in connection, collaborations, and partnerships. And so the first thing was stop and listen. And so that's where the virtual roundtables came to life. And the two topics that emerged as the most pressing during COVID were financial security for those that are doing good. And the second issue was food insecurity. So even projects that have not worked with food insecurity, that were working on creating livelihood, sustainability, everyone went into serving those that were going hungry, because that was happening around the world. So I don't know, Joy, that you work with members specifically, if you want to as well add your 2 cents.
You said exactly what I was going to, because most of the times we see a lot of organizations saying we hold the knowledge. We know what those people need, and that's what we are doing. And it's not as exactly like that. No one better to know the reality of a community than the people within this community. So I think that's a really big part of what we do. This week we had our first ever General Assembly of the movement, and it was exactly that, presenting what we are doing, what we plan to do, and here's what we heard from you. This is what you told us you need. Now let's co-create this together. So I think that it was precise. It's listening to the ones that we pretend and are intending to serve. And I think that now we can go back to Sue so we can speed up this recipe because I'm hungry already.
Too much time before cooking. And then I want to
we were
ask the word around farms if because I know we're running out.
Everyone made it, and this is what we get. This is after a little bit of blender.
Yeah, it's so not what I got, by the way. I'm just
It's
saying.
a little bit. It's not the same texture of a traditional mayo.
So
help us!
Okay, go back there.
It is really not what I got, and I feel really like, okay, Zaya, start mixing so that I have a complete, by
What happened?
Lemon.
I don't know.
Nikki,
Tell me.
a lot of oil helped me, and putting a little bit of lime by the end of it. And I
exactly.
think I nailed it.
See?
Wine? No lime.
This is what I
Nikki,
got.
we will go back to you.
Okay, continue
this is
a
what I
recipe.
got.
Go, Zaya, I want to see you do it.
Now you just put a little bit lemon, and salt and pepper, and I don't know if you want any other season. It's okay. And if you want a better texture, after you do all this, you put in the fridge, and then you get a like this, like a mousse. Someone said
She's lying. I'm telling you, that did not happen.
This is what you get
if you do it right.
We will get there, Nikki. Hold on. Hold the mixer there. We will go back.
Okay, go. Continue with what actually excelled at the recipe.
So now this you can use just as you use the mayo in a sandwich, in a salad. If you want to mix it all here and make like a mayo salad, it's fine. Or just to make a dip, some other seasoning, and you can eat with fries or dumplings, whatever you want. So you can use here too if you want to mix. Now the salad is just this. We're gonna mix everything together. So here I have the chickpeas, the cherished tomato, the red onion. I'll just mix all together.
Yeah, we can do that.
Now we go for
the passion fruit.
Zero waste passion fruit.
Just mix it in there or anything else, just the passion
I'm
fruit.
gonna make a sauce.
Okay.
To eat together.
So we used the passion fruit, like the
pulp?
juicy part.
If you want, you don't need to. I'm gonna use because I like it. So just 3 tablespoons of the pulp. 3 spoons of olive oil. And if you want, you can here. You can put a little bit of honey or
cane molasses,
or mascavo sugar, the brown sugar, or anything.
Just to put a little bit.
Yeah, just to put a little bit.
And then we will mix it.
I'll put only 1 tablespoon. And salt.
Go.
Okay.
And we pretend we are bartenders here.
You can do it with a fork too, but I think this is easier. So this is what you get. And now I will use to season the salad and this and everything. Oh, here I have parsley and mint. Here.
That all goes in the vinaigrette.
Yes.
How's it going, Patricia? All good in there?
Yes.
Cool. So Pachi, actually, Patricia, and I'm so excited. Okay, I'm gonna show you. Look, my first egg, my chicken laid an egg. I have chickens since this morning. So literally, you know. And so I'm so excited.
I'm so happy. I want to put some chickens here too.
Listen, if everything goes wrong with my mayonnaise, I'm just gonna put the egg in, and let's forget about the vegan thing. Let's just make it a normal mayonnaise. But
let's go regular.
I was talking about the egg because Pachi actually they own a farm. They have chicken, so she brought the chicken. It was my birthday gift. So
did it taste like
the
Thai or with the lace?
And I wanted Pachi to share a little bit about like I think one thing that came to me is just about the new generation. We talked about it in class as well, and she has kids and growing up on a farm, and so I just wanted to hand her over.
Yeah, I think I am very lucky. I think that my kids are very lucky because they grew up in the countryside with like chickens, with eggs. So in the morning we would say, so kids, go there and pick some eggs for our breakfast, and pick some lettuce and pick some onions. So it was very nice for them to understand that things comes in seasons. So you have like strawberries only on springtime. You have carrots or anything like potatoes only on winter time. It was very nice for them to grow up there, understand the season. For example, right now, chicken they don't have eggs for a while because it's like the season where they change the feathers. So I think it's very healthy to grow up like this. And also I work with marketing, and one of the publishers of a magazine called Tutano, that is also like a big event about gastronomy, where we try to connect small producers to restaurants and to chefs. So I'm connected with food in many different ways. One of them is like liking to eat and liking to cook, even when we are not successful, but we tried hard.
We did.
I think that's nice.
Amazing. So while you are finishing your salad,
after you unpeel it,
oh sorry,
you just leave the white part, then you chop it finely, like into little squares, and throw it into the salad.
I forgot the apple.
We put it in. And I think, Julia, we're running out of time. That's what you're telling us. Or we
Yes,
ran out of time long time ago.
Yes and no. I tried to wing it this time, but what I wanted to do while you're doing the last mixing, we also have one more participant here from Brazil, and I wanted her to have the chance to introduce herself and talk about the agroforestry project very shortly, what she's running. Renata also participated on the bootcamp last summer, and since then acted as a local host along the bootcamps. So ciao Renata.
Ciao, very nice to be here, especially with Nikki from Gastromotiva and social gastronomy movement that I met in São Paulo some years ago.
Free COVID.
Yeah, when we could meet. For me, it's very special to see all these people like doing something very important relates to food and food consciousness. From my part, I'm now working on the beginning of this chain that is like growing food here in the farm in a special way that is agroforestry. Thanks to COVID, I need to say that I come back to my parents' house, so I could start this project of growing food and implementing an agroforestry. That has been a very nice experience. It's very different when you know something by the theory, and after you go to the practice, everything changes. Especially, you see that we need to value all the people that are growing our food. So for me now is that what I've been doing, trying to find a way to make food more valuable, just because we know that it's very hard to do it for life, especially for the farmers, the smallholders, for example, that suffer a lot because they have to work hard for that and for us. So thank you. It's been a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Renata. So Nicola, Joyce, can we wrap up your salad and have some final words? And then afterwards, we will complete the loop and have the final words with Sarah and someone dialing in from Australia. But first, I want to give you the chance to conclude.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the extra time. So this is my salad right now.
Looks
I'm
good.
finishing up. I'm only missing the cashews that are going in a couple of seconds. So I'll let everyone know how it tastes, but it looks amazing already. And I just wanted to thank for this opportunity. I think that, as Svetlana said on her session, I think that our friends, our community, the people that are closer to us can be a dormant resource. We can activate these people through education, through inspiration and example. So I'm super happy to be here with a friend, to be here with all of these friends from Curitiba. Actually, I love my city. So doing this locally means extra to me. And I think that bringing a little bit of the work that we do at the social gastronomy movement, and just giving you the option to go and get to know all of these amazing organizations all around the world, I think this is already an amazing opportunity. So I'm just super grateful. And I think that we can wrap this up. Do you want to add something?
Yeah, actually, I wanted to thank you guys because this salad was a great way for me to learn how to make something new. I know you guys don't know me, but I have an uncle right now staying with me who came for treatment for chronic kidney disease. He needs a transplant. So just the adjustment of learning how to cook again for that specific need was a little challenging for me. And I feel like this is a little bit of support that I'm getting from a movement that I only knew as a neighbor movement. I knew it through Joy, but I wasn't particularly using. So thank you so much for letting me be a part of this. Thank you so much for doing this. And I'm definitely propagating this further for everyone else.
Thank you, Adrienne, for sharing. We are very happy that you could join us now.
Paul is in the car. Paul, no driving and talking. Unacceptable, my friend.
I'm in a car park, Nikki, and I'm trying to work out where the sun's coming from this side because it's very early. So I'm driving in circles trying to work out how to get the right backlight. But I'm not doing very well. I just saw some shade over there. I might park in the shade. It's like 8 a.m. So on Sunday. So it's very, very. There's no one here. It's like completely empty car park. So I'm trying to work out where the best place to park is. But it's very safe. It's very safe.
Okay then. And Sue, you need to meet Susanna that was leading us through the zero waste recipe now, because I think she should totally be part of the Chef's Manifesto. definitely promotes all of the values. So it was great that the closing was linked of social gastronomy and Chef's Manifesto, I guess.
Absolutely. Good to see you.
Hey, Paul. Good to see you.
Hi.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
So this being said, thank you so much, Nicola and Joy, to bring all your community members and prepare this delicious salad with us. And now to conclude our day, we actually concluded with two of the chefs from the Chef Manifesto, our first session this afternoon with Vanchika and Radhika from India. And so I wanted to ask Sarah and Ponyunem to conclude our session this time and maybe just have a bit of a teaser because there will be another climate supper coming in the summer.
It's great to see you, Paul, and thank you for being with us today. We are at the end of our day, actually. So we are going to bed now. We had an amazing Mediterranean dinner here in Polica, the capital of Mediterranean diet, and we've been following since this morning the entire marathon. And so it has been amazing to see all of those communities coming together, sharing values around food, sharing traditional food, and sharing sustainable foods overall. So thank you so much also for joining us.
Yeah, no problem, Sarah. It's really great to see, and it's also great to be able to connect around the world and see how people are celebrating and eating together, and to be able to see the recipes and just the joy around food. And I think this is something that really does connect us. You know, is how we all. There's lots of laughter. There's lots of storytelling, lots of sharing. And food is something that really does connect us in so many ways. And it's great to be speaking also on Sunday. So we're talking about the future. I'm living in the future. It's the next day. You're about to go to bed. We're already waking up. It's a sunny day here in the future. And so it's looking very bright.
That's amazing. And before we leave, I want to really thank Julia, because Julia, she is the mastermind behind this marathon. She has been connecting everyone since this morning nonstop. She's doing an amazing work connecting all of our fellows around, because really we have been connecting all the fellows from also the previous boot camp, all the climate shapers, the food shapers. So thank you so much, Julia, for the work you have been doing today and the previous day to prepare this marathon.
No problem. And I also have to give a big applaud to the team as well. Guillaume was with us in the morning. We have Lauren here now. And in the background, hiding Francesca, without who the live broadcast would have not happened.
Ciao, Fra!
I did not so much.
Super good to see you all connected. Thank you so much.
Just to conclude, we traveled through almost 20 countries today and connected multiple different people, bootcamp participants, previous participants, but also their friends or families or someone from their community. And I think now closing with two other initiatives around the world, the SDGs to Advocacy Hub and the Social Gastronomy Movement, shows as well how many great minds are all over the world who are working towards the same goal. And for me, it's beautiful to see that we could come around the virtual table tonight or this morning, wherever in the future we are. And I can't wait to see how these collaborations can evolve and see how the next climate supper can be involving the Chef Manifesto people and other people from the social gastronomy movement as well.
And see you at the Food System Summit. So follow the social network of Food System Summit. Join us in Rome for the pre-summit in July. Join the dialogues. There's a big movement connected, tons of dialogues, really raising the awareness about the most crucial issues related to our global food system. So to all of you, join the conversation and let's transform our protest into proposal, into projects, because this is really the time to act. So thank you so much for being part of this global movement.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ciao. Brave, ciao. was amazing.
Thank you.
Ciao. Thank
Ciao.
you. Thank you,
Ciao,
everyone.
ciao.
Thank you for the invitation.
Ciao.
Ciao.